have managed to do.
Always a chance here.
Kolo is through, there's no flag. Kolo with a chance, he's gone wide, can he finish? Off the post, the rebound's in though. Just what the doctor ordered for the French duo. Nantes have the early lead in this one in a game that they simply have to win.
And we said that the goal at the end of the last game might be potentially a turning point. We have the first goal in this game, and it's a goal not only for Nantes but for the neutrals as well, because we are well and truly game on here. It looked like the chance had gone after the goalkeeper had tipped onto the post. Some brilliant manual goalkeeping there, actually. But unfortunately for the goalkeeper in this occasion, Kolo was there to turn it home on the rebound. And, I mean, Celtic were all at sea. 6s and 7s at the back, Mark.
Yeah, unlike them, given the clean sheet record that they boasted coming into this one, and given that they also had looked fairly untroubled at the back. But it's no surprise to see Nantes ask questions of them. 50 shots in the regulation league season, which was the third highest amount in the tournament behind Celtic and Monaco. So we know that they have the ability going forwards. Frustration for those two, and maybe just the first hint of nerves.
Yeah, fine margins here in the eFootball.Pro League. If the goalkeeper had managed just to push it an inch further away from his goal, it wouldn't have ricocheted back to the on-rushing Kolo. But unfortunately for him, it's 1-0 FC Nantes. And how will Celtic respond as the ball gets played through to Griffiths? It's been challenged though, and he's got it back, and it's Edouard! And it's an instant response, Mark.
Well, very understated celebrations from those two. They feel that is the bare minimum that was required after conceding the goal. And it says a lot about the quality of Celtic that they are back level in such quick time and with such a well-taken goal.
Very disappointing for FC Nantes, but you are always so dangerous just after conceding. And equally on the other side, you're almost the worst or most vulnerable, you should say. As soon as you score, you've got to get straight back on it. Concentration was lacking, and it's 1-1.
Well, they were the team to beat in the regular season. 4 wins from the 5 match days, and they're doing the business in the semi-finals as well. Remember, as things stand, we would go to extra time and penalties. No match can end in a draw. They are settled one way or the other, and if those two win this one, they are our first finalists here in Barcelona. Still a long way to go though. Edouard for Bayo, but you just get the feeling there's a bit more of a swagger about Celtic. They seem to have an extra bit of confidence in their locker as Johnston sends it wide to Tierney. E.C. O'Neill and
another goal. Sorry, I was just going to say it's another goal for Eldridge O'Neill. He's now on 10, and he is chasing Pau down with ease at this moment in time. As he's got another chance here, but it's challenged by Touré. But Forrest picks it up again, challenged again by Diego Carlos, and not just hanging on here.
Well, despite the fact he only played 3 match days coming into this one, Eldridge O'Neill is now on 10, as you mentioned, only 1 behind Lotfi and 5 behind the overall top scorer of Pau 24. So that's quite an impressive
And he scored
return.
5 today in just over 90 minutes as well.
Koulibaly is offside. And the right call, as you can see there. So 1-1, approaching the midway point of the first half. Much better from a Nantes perspective, but still, at the moment, not the result that they require. Johnston will take the throw then for Celtic. Back to Tierney. And here's Benkovic. Gamboa. Bitten now. Stabbed towards Bayo, who offloads for Griffiths. Turned on nicely for Forrest. Bayo makes his way into the centre. Griffiths in there as well. Decent defending from Mendy. Seric now for Nantes. Just starved, really, of any options. So has to pump it long. Should be dealt with easily enough, and is guided back to Gordon in the end.
You mentioned how much swagger Celtic had. Of course, as you also said, they didn't really even celebrate. It was like, well, that's just business as usual. We should be at least level, let alone being behind. So, yeah, certainly a team that are full of confidence and expect big things today.
Bitten has fed it through to Bayo. On for Griffiths. Slipped back inside, and Bayo's there, and Celtic have done it again. They've turned the match around and are now on course to make it through to the final with a game to spare.
All smiles again in the Celtic camp. They've turned this game on its head in 10 first half minutes. and it's wonderful interchange football, and planted left foot off the instep right into the top right-hand corner. The goalkeeper absolutely no chance. Celtic 2, FC Nantes 1.
Clinical finish. When the chances have come along, they have taken them. And a bit more of a smile from the pair this time around. They have real work to do now, are staring down the barrel of elimination.
Lovely relationship they have, the Celtic boys, Mark.
Yeah, Eldridge O'Neill Dutch and Dominator Dutch Indonesian, so plenty of heritage that they share as well. Message in Dutch from Eldridge O'Neill beforehand as well, which Diego translated for us, and true to their word at the moment, because they're heading through and they could extend their advantage here. And Nantes just about smuggle it away. That could really have been a fatal blow for them.
Just slightly overplayed that. A shot possibly might have been enough from the into the far corner, but it's dropped here for Forest. Another chance to possibly get the shot away. Again, overplaying, being a bit over-elaborate, and now Nantes can counter here with the ball over the top, looking for Koulibaly. But again, really solid defensive abilities there from Hendry.
Sent long, bitten back chasing, and up towards halfway. Well, they will need to regroup at the interval, you feel, Nantes, and just work out what they're going to do. They may as well go for broke in the second half, because they are heading out in the semi-finals as things stand. Nothing to lose by having a real go at them after the interval. Iseric for them now, with not long to go until that half-time break.
You've got to remember, though, only one goal can change proceedings. A 2-2 scoreline, of course, could take us all the way to extra time and possibly penalties, and if they were to win there, then of course they're well and truly back in this encounter. We're talking almost, especially me, as if Celtic are walking away with this. I've already got the questions for Diego, but it's not cut and dried yet. One goal can change things completely.
Goals somewhat of a problem for Nantes, though. They were the lowest scorers in the regular league season with 17, and 2 so far in a game and a half against Celtic in the semi-finals. Grotto to Koulibaly, nicely taken down, and the finish almost deceived the keeper and just dropped wide.
Not quite sure whether you heard my exhale of breath there. It was a bit of a shriek, because I thought that was creeping in, and that would have been one of the most unlikely goals we've seen in the season so far, and certainly for FC Nantes, they would take that.
Talking about clinical finishing, 2 shots on goal for Celtic and 2 goals for them. And those 2 goals give them the advantage at half-time, Adam Butcher.
Yep, 8 minutes on the clock when FC Nantes struck, but a goal on 10 and a goal on 28 have completely changed the complexion here. Advantage Celtic, they're already 1-0 up in the best of 3 as well, so at this moment in time you can only see one winner, but remember, 1 goal can sway back in favour of Nantes, and then they can really get going again, so Celtic have got to be on guard.
Bayo back to Tierney. Do Celtic stick or twist? Heading through to the final at the moment. Another goal would really calm the nerves, though. Griffiths for Bayo. Whistle goes, so will be a Nantes free kick. Haven't seen any changes at the moment, and they need to change that statistic. 63% possession for Celtic at the moment. 2/3 of the ball for the Scottish side. Edouard up towards Bayo on the halfway line. Out to Forest. Edouard gives it back to Forest. Griffiths making an intelligent run, and here he is now. He's got Gamboa in support. Griffiths on his own for now tries to play in Gamboa, doesn't manage to do so, and Griffiths then takes it out.
Yeah, you were talking about possession, and a lot of that is down to, of course, the natural chemistry that Eldridge and Jos have. They've been playing together for many years. As you said, they speak a common language as well, and they've got a great relationship, but they're under the cosh here. But challenge again comes in. Resolute defending, and again, like we mentioned in the first game, outside of that one early chance, which this time did result in a goal for Nantes, they haven't really struggled defensively, Celtic, have they?
No, they seem to have the anticipation down to a T. They are well organised, they have the players in exactly the right place, and they have numbers back as well, so when the penalty area is that congested, it's very difficult for Nantes to find a way through. Just look at the amount of players they've got back here as well. Tierney, this time the man in the right place. Edouard for Johnston. Well, 2/3 of game 2 gone, and Celtic now are very close to securing a place in the final. Celtic on towards Yuan. This is a chance. It probably has to go in, and is in. What an important goal for those two. And they're back level, and they're still alive and kicking.
And we've been talking like Celtic are already in the final, and that's what FC Nantes think of that. A stunning goal in the end. You'd got to feel for the goalkeeper, but the power was far too strong. But the interchange of play down the right-hand side, fired across the face, defensively so difficult to defend against them crosses. And like I said, fired in at the near post. 2-2 on the day, potentially heading for extra time. Another goal, though, for Nantes now would put them 1-1. Unbelievable.
Well, it was a really intelligent run to get in between the two Celtic defenders there. He was outnumbered, but he got the touch, and it just went beyond Gordon. Might be a bit disappointed at their defending there, but we are set to head into extra time if it remains like this. Just a reminder, in case you weren't aware, none of the games today can end in a draw. They will go to extra time and then penalties if required. Celtic leading this best-of-3 semi-final by 1-0. So this is one that Nantes have to come out victorious in.
Fighting talk there from Alex Giardi, trying to rouse Ayres Babišk there, his teammate, and surprisingly they've just scored a goal. You think they would be happy with the performance at 2-2. They've gone to the settings, they've changed a couple of tweaks. Maybe they're going for the jugular now and going to try and kill this game and win it right now instead of going for extra time.
Intriguing final stage of the regulation minutes in this one, as Hendry comes unchallenged and still going. Forrest now picks it up. Henderson waits in the centre. They've not quite been as at it going forward, Celtic, in this second half. And the pass completion for both sides not ideal, really. Defending not ideal here, though. Mendy has to smash that one away. Just switched off there and almost paid the price. Forrest now through for Bayo, who's onside. Dangerous. Yet again, they are so clinical in front of goal. Jos can celebrate that one. And again, Celtic on course to make it to the final.
Yeah, you just mentioned how FC Nantes had switched off, and you felt that the chance had gone, but it came straight back in. Another simple through ball straight down the middle, and he was in absolute acres of space there. Gordon just celebrating with the Celtic fans there, the goalkeeper, but it just was far too easy for Celtic to break through, and FC Nantes defensively have not been simply not good enough today so far.
Well, they are both smashing their average for goals per game, and this yet again a first-time finish. They have struck all three of their goals with first-time efforts, which says a lot about the confidence and the technique.
First of the day for Jos Sonneveld there. A little bit of a joke from Eldridge, because he's scored all of the goals so far today. Other than that one, maybe it's a start of many for Jos, although I'm pretty sure he'll be happy with the assists as long as Celtic make their way to the finals and possibly win it, as the ball gets played over the top to Johnson and in towards Henderson. Now Griffiths takes it off him, but he can't quite make anything of it.
So Nantes now have to find a goal. It's chuck the kitchen sink time for the French pair now. Koulibaly has options in the centre. Limbourne, one of them. Oh, it must be, and is. They are back level again. What fighting spirit we're seeing from those two.
All eyes on the linesman. The flag stayed down. It looked like when he squared it, he may have been in an offside position, but I'm sure when we see the replays, it will show that he was in an onside position. And what an important goal that may prove to be. They've been dead and buried so many times today, especially in this second game, but they've come back from adversity again to make it 3-3, and again they're still fighting in this competition. Controversially looked like it might have been offside. I'm sure we will see from this angle here. It's a tight one. It's a very, very tight one. It looked just on, but it's a close one.
Well, they have been pegged back once again, and I mentioned that they lack the experience of their opponents, but they certainly don't lack any fighting spirit, and also staying cool under pressure, because they would have realised that that could have been one of their last chances to get back level and stay alive in the tournament, but they didn't panic, and they have made it 3-3. And, well, are we going to get extra time? At the moment, both teams know that one more goal could well settle it, although you wouldn't rule anything out given what a high-scoring affair it's been. We had a 3-2 victory for Celtic over Nantes in one of the games on match day 1. 3-3 in the latest encounter between the pair today.
Yeah, just looking at the formations here, and FC Nantes have traditionally played with a 4-3-3 pretty much all throughout this competition, but right now, after that third goal, they've now switched to a 4-4-2. You could say a flat 4-2, but of course it's slightly more attacking for the wingers, and that is of course pretty much matching up again with a 4-4-2 that Celtic have, the only difference being the fact that Celtic have the diamond. But I mean, that might be a really bold change, considering again they just scored, they've gone and changed it again, and it didn't work last time. Will it work this time?
Bitten finding Burke. A goal now could certainly be the match winner. Bio, lovely flick. Henderson almost in. Bitten picks it up for Celtic. Johnston now. Bio and Griffiths tries to go for goal, and not far away.
That little back heel, Mark. Some telepathic football there from Celtic. Just didn't quite get the shot on the end of it, and good defending in the end this time from FC Nantes.
So, will be a corner for Celtic. Slight deflection on that effort. Griffiths to deliver. Oh, and just over the top, but heart in the mouth time there for Nantes.
Just looking up to my right-hand side, I'm seeing some of the other competitors, the likes of Pau from Barcelona, of course, up there. And do you think they'll be watching on and thinking, you know, trying to, see where they can play against these two teams, or do you think they're focusing solely on the game ahead?
Oh, it's an interesting one, actually. They'll certainly be paying attention to any potential strengths or weaknesses from the players, but they will be focusing on their upcoming opponents first and foremost. I think that they'll just be hoping that this goes the full distance, so that both teams have had a real workout and might be a bit drained when it comes to the best-of-5 final.
Just 7 minutes remaining to find a winner. Of course, a goal for FC Nantes would put it to a final game decider, and something that Celtic probably didn't think would ever come about when they took the lead in this game.
Well, it's been a much tighter affair, so credit to Nantes for whatever they've done in terms of rejigging their tactics or their style of play, because it's done the job against Celtic, and we are on the cusp now of extra time and, who knows, maybe penalties.
Celtic tactically have just changed to a swarm the box as well, so they are going all out for the win here as the ball gets picked up by Griffiths, but he just can't quite get the shot away again. So we know that they want to win it in normal time. They don't want extra time.
Henderson dispossessed, though, is the counter on here for Nantes. Koulibaly has Kolo in support. Can he beat his man? What a chance this is to win it right to death. Kolo still going, slips it across, and Tierney just in the right place for Celtic. So close to snatching a late win, but now they're on the back foot as Celtic come forwards. End-to-end stuff right at the end. Bio needs some support. Back to Henderson. Is there one last chance, one last sting in the tail? Sinclair floats it through to no one in particular, and that will surely be the last action of the regulation time. And indeed it is, and we will go to extra time. What a thrilling game that was.
What real late drama that almost was. Hoops and hollers around the auditorium here as Nantes looked to make it 4-3 right at the death in injury time. The pass just behind his compatriot and blocked and cleared away. But we now into extra time, the first of today, and I'm guessing we're going to see a lot of extra times today, because these teams are generally pretty well matched. Now we're in the final four. How do you see this, Mark? Who's going to win it?
Well, I think it's very tough to call, but you feel that because time is of the essence in this one, whoever scores first has an excellent chance of seeing it out and coming through with the victory.
Ooh.
Henderson has Sinclair in support.
That was a really naughty challenge there, but the referee allowed play to continue.
Mendy up towards Koulibaly. Now it's Kolo. Already halfway through the first period of extra time. Chance here. Kolo again, charged down. Celtic once more with plenty of bodies in the way to clear the danger away. Kolo now has it though, and he's waiting for someone in yellow to arrive. He might take it on himself. Flick through. Celtic once again defending with numbers back in the right place. Griffiths, nice skill and composure under pressure. Henderson can't find Bitton. Misplaced pass. Koulibaly now for Nantes, and he gets it back again. Koulibaly, that's a foul. Cynical.
Cynical, I was just going to say.
Tactical foul, taking one for the team.
Professional yellow card there. And, I mean, still a very, very good chance, though, for FC Nantes. And regardless of the result, they've done incredible to get back into this match. And it's whisked towards that top corner. Good save from Gordon.
Excellent work from the goalkeeper there. But, yep, that was certainly a tactical foul.
How important might that be, that challenge?
Well, he was happy to take the risk of losing a player there with a red card. Didn't cost them in the end. And, yep, a very good foul, I think, is the way to describe it. And that is half-time already, so the prospect of penalties is looming large.
I think he was listening to you when you said the next goal could be the crucial one, and he thought, we don't want to concede here, even if we were to lose a player. But again, as you said, thankful to the referee, only cautioning the player as the ball gets played out towards the edge of the area. It's another chance here for FC Nantes. It's Koulibaly, just can't quite get it under control.
Well, how do they handle the pressure? How are their nerves? Because this really is edge-of-the-seat stuff now. One goal, they could be all square in terms of the semi-final, or they could be out. That is what is riding on the closing stages of extra time here. Sinclair has Henderson in support, decides to keep it himself for the time being. Now he's got the crossing opportunity. Plays it short to Griffiths instead. Burke's in a bit of room. Here he is now, Burke. This is dangerous. Griffiths, can he get the shot away? Bayo will! Oh, what a chance to win the semi-final, and they know it.
How important might that miss be? I was just saying that FC Nantes looked like the team who were in the ascendancy, but suddenly out of the blue, or out of the green, should I say, Celtic with the big chance. And it's gone the wrong side of the post, and the Celtic boys to my left-hand side cannot believe that they're not back in front. And as you said, could we be destined for the first penalties of the day?
Well, you expected the net to bulge there just because all of the other goals taken first time from that kind of range have ended up in the net.
They've been so clinical, haven't they?
Get another chance here. Burke with the misplaced pass, though. And we are just seconds away now from a penalty shootout. Bitton feeding Bayo. Can they avoid it, though, Celtic? Griffiths nearly for Henderson. Nervy times for Nantes. They should be able to run this clear, or can Koulibaly do even better? Kolo's in the centre. Koulibaly, here's Kolo. It's a tough angle, and Celtic able to clear their lines. Picked up, though, by Waris. And now Torres. They're going to be one final chance right at the death. Doesn't look like it. Bayo for Celtic into additional time. The whistle is about to go any second now. Surely that is it. Sinclair, Bayo, Henderson. This would be so cruel. And that is that. We do go to penalties.
Wow. Honours even in game two. And we now know that FC Nantes' continuation in this competition will go down to the lottery of a 50-50 shootout. And wow, owed to be in those boys' heads right now, because Celtic know they've got a second chance. Even if they were to lose this penalty shootout, they've got another game to go again. FC Nantes, on the other hand, know that if they lose, they are out. And it's as simple as that. And that can help you in the 90 minutes. But in a penalty shootout, will those nerves be increased and therefore cause them all sorts of problems? We will wait and see.
Well, you can see there, they're just selecting their takers, looking at the rankings for the players and their penalty conversion rates. But we all know that when it comes to a penalty shootout, the real heroes generally are the goalkeepers. So then, the first penalty will be taken by Celtic. How about this for pressure? A shootout win would put them into the final and straight down the middle. Well, it's always a bit of a gamble. It's a gamble that paid off there.
Yeah, often the goalkeepers dive early, and Bayo just put it straight down the middle, and now it's a chance for Kolo to even the scores. Saved by the goalkeeper. The first miss of the afternoon so far.
Well, that is crucial. Early on in the shootout, Celtic have the advantage. Sinclair with a chance to cement their lead here. And he does so. Well, Celtic now have clear daylight between themselves and Nantes, and you feel that they cannot afford to miss this one.
Calm and composed from Scott Sinclair, slaps the badge, but now steps up. FC Nantes, he's missed again.
Well, it is a long way back now. 2 saves from Gordon. I said that the goalkeeper generally turns out to be the hero. Where is this one going? Can Celtic make it 3-0 in the shootout and have 1 foot in the final? Up he steps, Henderson. Cool as you like. And Celtic are very nearly there now. Nantes simply cannot afford to miss. If they do, they are out.
Has to score. Up steps up their main man, Koulibaly. He's missed again.
Celtic are in the final. They have done it. They have beaten Nantes by 2-0 in the semi-final. It took a shootout and they held their nerve. And those two can celebrate. Eldridge O'Neill and Jos Sonneveld are our first finalists.
Wonderful, wonderful to see. You'd have to say, on the back of the 2 performances, deserved across the board. You've got to feel for FC Nantes, of course. Commiserations to them. They are bowing out. The last chance saloon winners will go no further. They've come up against an outfit in Celtic FC, Eldridge and Jos, who have basically shown why they finished the league top of the pile. A really professional performance, and even in the penalties, it is a lottery, but they were clinical, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. I mean, they had that chance very late on, which you thought was going to settle it for them. They popped that one wide, but in the end, they held their nerve in the shootout, faultless from them. They scored all of their penalties, and they saved all of Nantes' spot kicks. You can't really ask for much more than that in a penalty shootout. They dealt with that shootout clinically, as they did generally with the majority of their finishing.
That was the first chance of the day in the first match, and how things might have been different, Mark, had that have gone in.
Yeah.
Or do you feel Celtic would have still turned it around?
I think that, you know, the momentum is everything, and confidence and belief in this kind of format can go a long way. So you still would have fancied Celtic's quality, the type of quality we can see there from the finishing, to have seen them through. But it's all about composure and keeping calm under pressure, and the nature of their performance gives you the impression that they are very much in the zone.
And you see what it means to those players. That was the first goal, of course, for Eldridge, and then after that, things calmed down a little bit. But certainly the emotions of that first goal, the wonderful volley. Mark, have you got a particular pick, your favourite goal of what you've seen in the opening game?
I think in the opening game there was one really incisive move from Celtic where they just left the Nantes backline trailing in their wake. That was the pass there, and then the finish from Griffiths just to round things off. They really stepped it up in the next game, though, with some lovely, crisp first-time strikes. The defending from Nantes wasn't really at it in the first game. They sharpened up in the second game, and yeah, the match ball
was
wanted
weren't they?
by Eldridge O'Neill for his finishing, and he has shot up the scoring charts as well as helping Celtic into the final, where they await either Barcelona or Monaco.
Yeah, as you can see on the screen, your graphics there. Celtic make their way through to the final, and of course it was a ruthless performance from the boys in green and white. And I believe we can go to Diego Lorraine in our mix zone, who has some interviews with some of the players, starting with the winners, I believe, of course, Celtic FC, Eldridge and Jos.
That's right, Adam. I'm going to start this session off with the winners. Congratulations, boys. On to the final. This is what you guys play for. I'm going to give you the hat-trick ball as well, E.C. O'Neill.
Finally, man. Yo, I've been trying to get this hat-trick. Now I'm finally having it, man.
You got it. Thanks to that first match. You started off with a completely dominating performance as well in that initial match. Then it went down to the wire. What changed exactly over the course of those 2 matches?
Well, actually, I think first game we were sharp. And, yeah, we scored immediately all our chances. And, yeah, second game, I think we were a little bit overconfident, you know, like, yeah, we got this. And then they scored, but we scored immediately back. And to be honest, we weren't in danger the second game because we were very strong and composed. Actually, we had to win in regular time and then in extra time as well. So, but yeah, actually they did really well the second game to change their tactics and play very defensively on the counter, and then just through ball on Koulibaly, and that's what was a little bit difficult because they have very fast center forwards. So they gave us a little bit troubles, but in the end, the penalties shootout, we killed it.
Indeed, they did. Stay cool under pressure. Congrats again, EC O'Neill. Jos, congratulations to you as well. Not long ago, you were sitting with us at the table as the analyst. Now, you've booked the ticket to the final. I gotta ask you, who is it you want to face in the final? Who's your favorite?
I don't have a personal favor, but the important thing is we are in the finals. We still have one opponent left to play against, so we will see. We will fight for the trophy.
All right, fight they will, of course. Congratulations again to Celtic for making the trip to the final. Thanks. Congratulations, boys, as I now will be joined by the losing team of the semi-final, the boys from Nantes, AS Babisk, and Alex. Guys, if you will come over here. My condolences. It wasn't meant to be, not today, unfortunately. Alex, how do you feel at this moment?
Very disappointed because I think we can be far in this tournament and in the finals, but penalty and the last game, it's difficult to lose like this. But we lost our first game, and it's here that we lost the competition.
Yes, Babisk, I see you're not in the mood to talk right now. You have a lot of support from your friends and family. But like I said, it wasn't meant to be on this occasion. Yet, still though, you gave it a valiant effort. In that second match in particular, went right down to the wire, into penalties. What happened in that first match that it was, well, such a one-sided affair, you think?
Yeah, in the first match, we have nothing for us, but we made mistake that kill the competition for us, and I'm disappointed because I would like to win this trophy, but this year semi-final. I hope next year we'll better and win this trophy. And when we put the 4-4-2, we were better because they play 4-4-2 and us 4-3-3. It was difficult to defend, but it's the game and no problem. GG to Celtic.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's fair to say that you surprised a lot of us and won over the hearts of a lot of fans watching us for sure. You guys came into the competition as maybe the underdogs, hadn't played a lot previously, so I want to congratulate you on the performance and reaching the semi-finals. AS Babisk, of course, very disappointed, both of these guys, but congratulations on your achievements. Adam, back over to you guys.
Yeah, thanks very much, Diego. Interesting to hear from both sets of players there. Hat-trick, of course, for El Jajunil. Do you think it was fair over the two games that Celtic went through?
I think so, yeah. I think that their finishing was just that bit of a higher calibre than Nantes defensively as well, especially in the first game. They were very, very tight, and I think that you couldn't really argue that over the course of the two games, Celtic deserved to make it through.
How disappointed do you think FC Nantes will be the fact that they didn't take the tactics they used, because they did change tactics according to the Celtic guys, why they didn't start with those tactics, because it could have been a different story?
I think that they'll be disappointed, yeah, especially in the second game. They showed what they can do. They showed that they could take Celtic all the way to a penalty shootout, so they'll feel that that first game was a missed opportunity to really push their opponents, and then of course they'll be disappointed when it came to the penalties. They couldn't score a single one.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is the luck of the lottery on a penalty shootout. Now, remember, you can choose your MVP. I mean, it's got to be El Jajunil from my point of view, but you may have a different opinion. You may go with Jos, for example. You can choose your MVP on Twitter at eFootball.Pro. And remember, if you want to possibly win a brand new copy of PES 2019, stay tuned right throughout the stream, because I will be bringing up 2 keywords that you're going to need to use in order to go to Twitter and actually comment those keywords underneath the pinned competition tweet. So, we've got semi-finals 1 done, Mark. We now go on to semi-final 2, which is, of course, FC Barcelona versus AS Monaco, and it's possibly a little bit more balanced, you could say, because it's now 2v3 in that group stage.
Yeah, and we saw on match day 5 just how well balanced they are, because there was a 4-1 win for Monaco and a 4-0 win for Barcelona in the 2 games, which meant obviously that they ended up with a point because it was 1-1 overall. So plenty of goals in there. difficult one to predict, given that both enjoyed big wins in one game each when they met on match day 5.
Yeah, and a bit of a rivalry possibly between Alex and Uzmakabal in the 1v1s PES League as well, so possibly that might come into play as well. But right now we're going to go to the video to see those two teams. Take it away. And it's still ricocheting around the edge of the area. Surely, and here's Monaco have scored. This is wonderful football. An absolutely huge game prospect ahead, another best of 3. And we have, in these two teams, possibly, I mean, we were looking at it right at the start of the season as Barcelona and AS Monaco were probably the favourites. And of course, Celtic were up there as well, but they've done absolutely incredible. But these two were, you know, they've got 4 incredible players. We've got Uzmakabal, we've got Lotfi, we've got Pau, and of course, Alex Alguacil. You know, what are you expecting to see from this game?
Goals.
Nice and easy from Mark.
Would be the bottom line. Alex Alguacil, the world champion in co-op, runner-up in 1v1, plenty of quality, top of the assist chart with 14. His partner Pau, 15-goal top scorer. We've seen Eldridge O'Neill obviously close the gap on him with his fine performance in the first semi-final. He averages 3 goals per game, which is exceptional. He's also top of the goals and the assists as well. But looking at Monaco, it's that sort of that youthfulness. Lotfi, just 20 years of age. The 2 Frenchmen have been there as well and picked up some awards. 2018 America's Round and European League final winner Lotfi, and Uzmakabal as well as a former PES League champion. They didn't have much between them in terms of the regulation league season as well. I make Barca slight favourites just because of their firepower, but I wouldn't want to have to call it.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about firepower, and we've mentioned how many goals Barcelona have scored. They've got a very sort of distinct style. They have Alex, who is the assist maker, and they've got Pau, who finishes it off. AS Monaco's they share responsibility a little bit more. Do you think that's an advantage, or do you think it's good that the players have a specific sort of role?
I think it's probably better if you've got a defined way of playing, because then you don't really need to worry about how things are going mid-game. You just stick to your principles and you believe the process will get you where you need to go. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, is the old adage. But I think that what's interesting is when it comes to Monaco, they've scored a fair amount of goals as well, but it's been more of a split. 11 goals for Lotfi, 9 goals for Uzmakabal. So, you know, it's not quite as defined. They both chip in with the goals, whereas, as you mentioned, Alex and Pau have that sort of different type of relationship.
Yeah, it's rather worrying for the rest of the competition in terms of that Pichichi chart, the golden boot chart, that Pau has 15 already before a ball has been kicked today. So if he could do what Eldridge did in the last round, for example, I mean, he could be home and dry with 20 odd by the end of the semi-finals, which is a scary prospect. Of course, we are just moments away from the start of semi-final 2. The players are starting to make their way into the arena now, so we are just waiting for the clarification of when we can rock and roll. But final words, Mark, on this next semi-final, because the first one was, we felt there was a clear sort of favourite in Celtic, and they did manage to sort of follow through with that. Whereas this one is, you mentioned you've got Barcelona as your slight tip, but it's very evenly balanced, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know, in that matchday 5 encounter, we saw two very different type of games. Monaco winning the first match by 4-1 when Barcelona's trademark style of play, which we referenced just a short time ago, wasn't really firing on all cylinders. But it says a lot about Alex and Pau's belief in the system that in the follow-up game they won by 4-0, and they really did click. So I think that, you know, the fact that they have
defensively they looked great in that second game, didn't they?
So I think that, you know, they're so used to playing together and they have that telepathic almost relationship that you would back them, you know, to come through this just because of that sort of relationship that they have. Yeah, just for the guys at home, how must it feel to represent these huge clubs? You've got AS Monaco and FC Barcelona who are actually, you know, tweeting about these players, for example, and I imagine Barcelona talking about you as an individual. I think you can just see the pride on both sets of players' faces that they are representing their clubs and how much it means to them to be seen just like the real professional players. And I think that we're ready to go to see them in action now. We certainly are. The players are in the tunnel, so let's kick things off in semi-final 2. Welcome to the arena, Barcelona versus AS Monaco. Let's go.
Welcome, guys. Shake your hands. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck.
So, of course, on the stage now we have Barcelona versus AS Monaco, and you can see the home kits there. It's great to see the guys with the, you know, they come fully kitted out, you know, with the official kits, etc. And it just goes to show the sort of professionalism here of the clubs that are involved. They really get behind the players, of course. And how important do you think it is, the fact that these 4 sets of players all pretty much know each other's games inside out, because they have come up against each other before, not only in the season we've had here in the eFootball.Pro League, but also 1v1s and co-ops in the PES League, for example. And a lot of these guys have got a long history with the game of PES. How important is that they do know each other's games inside out? Absolutely vital. As you mentioned, they've participated in co-ops as well as 1v1s on a number of occasions. Lotfi was a semi-finalist of the PES League in co-op mode together with one of his teammates, Red Mamba for Monaco, who's not participating today, is Lotfi and Uzmakabal. They are one of the clubs who have 3 members in their squad. Obviously, only 2 can play in the format, so it is Uzmakabal and Lotfi that are the pair on show for Monaco today. Lotfi, of course, among the 3 best PES players back in 2016 in his homeland of France. And interesting as well that, you know, the French team and the Spanish team both represented by players from those respective countries. Yeah, and how important do you think it is for these guys to also, you know, well, for a start, some of these teams have got 2 players, some of them have got 3 and 4. Schalke 04, for example, they had 4. It didn't quite work out. Do you think it's better to have just 2 and know exactly who's going to be playing, train just as 2? Because, of course, AS Monaco do, I would imagine, train with Red Mamba as well, even though he has really taken no part in the competition. Yeah, I think that we've seen by the fact that the
teams that have that sort of understanding and relationship between two of them have gone quite far. So that would lend itself to the theory that, you know, 2 is an easier number to build a relationship with than if you are having to chop and change, as perhaps Monaco have had to do. But, you know, they have the 11-goal second top scorer in Lotfi there on the right of your screen in their setup, and those two just seem to have such chemistry in terms of their style of play. So it is Barcelona against Monaco for the right to face Celtic in the final and win that trophy at the centre of your screen there.
And what a trophy it is too. We got a chance to almost get hands on ourselves, but we were told strictly keep your mitts off. This is not for you, this is for the victors of the eFootball.Pro League. And what a competition it has been so far this season. Excited for where this can go, of course, next season. Potentially more teams, etc., getting involved as well. And that will be a joy to behold. We are just seconds from kickoff. Are you seeing anything early doors from any of the personnel or the formational changes? I don't know whether you've managed to catch a glimpse, whether they've shown you any that you've seen that can sort of give you a prediction so far.
No, it's all been a bit too quick, but worth reminding everybody watching that it is a best-of-3 semi-final, and none of the games can end in a draw. As we saw in the previous semi-final, it will go to extra time and penalties if required. So it's Barcelona against Monaco, first side to get to 2 victories in the best-of-3 series will be in the final against Celtic for the right to lift that trophy. And let's just hope that we have as many goals as we had when the sides met back on match day 5, when we had 9 goals in 2 games cumulatively.
Obviously, we saw in the first game, the first semi-final, how important that first win was for Celtic. Do you think it's going to be a similar sort of thing in this game, or do you think because the teams are potentially on paper slightly more evenly balanced, it's not going to affect it as much?
Well, you know, Barcelona are the top scorers with 21 goals. Monaco, second top scorers with 20 goals scored. So it doesn't lend itself to the potential for it to be a cagey affair. You fancy that both of them will be on the front foot from the word go, and we are now ready to go as well. Pressure can play a part as well, but both sets of players have picked up honours in the past, so they have dealt with that kind of pressure quite well previously, and I'm sure that they will fancy their chances of being able to deal with it on this stage as well. So that is the starting lineup for FC Barcelona. Remember, all of the players are adjusted, so ability is even throughout them. The only thing that can come into play is the physicality, which is obviously important when things such as corners and free kicks are swung into the penalty area. So here we are, we're good to go. It is Barcelona who will kick us off in this second semi-final. Celtic awaiting the winners in the final. Suarez to Chumi, back to Piqué, Longley for Umtiti, and as is with the case with the men's senior team, it is very much a possession-based style of play that we see from FC Barcelona. Boateng to Vidal, sent round the corner for Boateng to chase as well. Asengo can clear upfield. Vidal and Boateng combining. Vidal finding Boateng again. At the moment, Barcelona have kept possession from kickoff. Finally, Monaco get a touch and it's out of play, and immediately there is going to be a little bit of change made by the players. You'd assume perhaps from a Monaco side of things, given that Barcelona have monopolised possession in the very early stages so far. So it is a Monaco throw and a chance for them to get a touch of the ball after Barcelona dominated. But Barca have it back with Messi, and sent on here for Arturo Vidal. Vidal to Boateng. And at the moment, it's certainly Barcelona who have settled the better out of the two sides.
Barcelona doing what Barcelona do best, and that is keep possession. Lovely tick-attack, a one-touch football we've seen over the last decade or so, especially. And They look very calm and composed as Monaco almost give them an early Christmas present as the ball gets played over the top, and now Messi flicks it in towards Boateng. Now Vidal just can't quite get on it, but it's real worrying times here for Monaco.
Yep, just a bit slack at the back there, and you cannot afford to be like that. Although they have a chance here. Martins is onside. How about that? So much against the run of play, but it's the French pair who are in front. Barcelona dominating the ball, but they are behind early on. Barcelona 0, Monaco 1.
And the two team styles have really contributed to that opening goal. Barcelona generally dominate possession, and Monaco so far this season have played very much on the counter-attack, and it's exactly what's happened here. The counter-attack was lethal, really. The ball over the top, the goalkeeper, again, manual goalkeeping will come into question. He came off his line and slightly gave himself far too much room to dive across to make the save, and almost shock there from AS Monaco as they find themselves in front with barely a kick of the ball.
Well, that's a real sucker punch there, because Barcelona couldn't really have asked to have started any better than they did with their passing game, seeing them keep the ball for virtually all of the opening stages, but they have been stung by that ball over the top. As you mentioned, the goalkeeping decision will be questioned. Boateng now looking for the quick response for Barcelona. Here's Messi, back to goal though. Glick snapping at his heels. Monaco were 4-1 winners in the first game between the two sides on match day 5. So we know that they can see off Barcelona, who have the top assist provider in Alex Alguacil, as well as the 15-goal top scorer Pau in their ranks. Messi can clip it in towards a dangerous area. Monaco have defended that well though. Golovin towards Gelson Martins. See, there's Maccabar with 9 goals to his name, Lotfi with 12, and looking to add to that here, but the offside flag is
I'm not quite sure why he played the ball. He was already in. He could have just fired the shot goalwards, and that would have been potentially 2-0 after 20 minutes with just really 3 or 4 touches of the ball for Monaco. But that is the big question. It's not how much of the football you have, but what you do with it. And so far, Barcelona have been nullified defensively from Monaco.
Here is Vidal then for Barcelona, bringing it forwards. Messi for Rafinha. Now Suarez looking for the return to Messi, and not quite clicking so far for Barcelona. They have, as we mentioned, had plenty of the ball, but lacking that usual incisiveness when they're getting in towards the opposition penalty area. Piqué now has it for them. 2/3 of the first half have gone. Monaco, with their only real effort on goal, have the advantage. Cut out though, and Suarez can come forwards. Boateng, he's got a runner in Arturo Vidal on the far side. Here he is now. Sloppy pass for him, gets a second bite of the cherry, lofted to Boateng, who's fooled the Monaco backline there, poked it into a dangerous area, nearly reached Suarez. It's a bit better though from Barca.
It is last-ditch defending again from AS Monaco, but this is much more improved football from FC Barcelona as they look to turn the screw here, looking for the equalizer. Of course, the founder of the esports or the eFootball.Pro League competition is Mr. Gerard Piqué himself. I'm sure he will be cheering on the Barcelona contingent here. It would be nice for him to see a Barcelona win, but nevertheless, of course, anyone is worthy. If they get there, you are the best, they say, as Boateng finds Rafinha inside the centre circle.
Vinicius has taken too long there. Just signs that Barca are growing into the game. Monaco, though, as we know, very dangerous on the counter, and Masengo has it now. They've got numbers forwards here. Allegri's in the centre. Masengo keeps it for now. Golovin picks it up, slipped in towards Allegri and Vinicius. And here's Masengo. Very important save there to prevent Monaco doubling their lead.
Yeah, you said very important. How important? Because had that have gone to 2-0, we've seen in the first game of the first semi-final how unassailable the lead was for Celtic. Well, it really could have paid dividends for AS Monaco, but we are just a 1-goal difference here as we approach the end of the first half, as Messi is challenged by Glick. And again, Monaco can clear. How impressed are you with Monaco defensively, Mark?
Yeah, they've done well because they've soaked up the pressure. 71% possession for Barcelona in that first half, but no real saves for the Monaco goalkeeper to have to make. So that's shown that they've been able to give Barcelona the ball, but haven't really been troubled by them.
No, and it's definitely something that you don't feel has been enforced on them. You feel that AS Monaco have set up with a game plan, and that is just to simply soak up the pressure and hit on the counter, but they're quite happy not having any of the ball. Having said that, they have the ball here, and it's another chance for 2-0. Headed goalward, saved by ter Stegen.
Yeah, Vinicius in the position there, but tough to get any real power on the header. Barcelona need a bit of a rethink at the moment. Boateng into Suarez, Rafinha, now Messi. This is better from them. Messi cuts it back to Rafinha, who digs it in towards Boateng. Jemerson got an important touch there for Monaco, who can clear as far as Glick. Glick has intelligently worked it on, and here is Masengo now making up good ground. Umtiti comes across. Gelson Martins will keep it in, and Martins again. Masengo, this is dangerous, and again a crucial header. Rafinha now picks it up for Barcelona. Boateng to Suarez. Boateng again has found Rafinha. Suarez, that one-touch play that we see so often for them, is coming together now. And Rafinha slips it through. Boateng. Oh. Good save, but the rebound surely should have been tucked away by Suarez. Messi keeps it going for Barcelona. And Boateng this time does score. Well, they passed up one good chance. They've taken the next, and it is all square.
Wonderful, wonderful football from Barcelona. And it was a case of just try again, because it looked like the chance had gone. As you said, as Suarez looked to turn home the rebound, he wasn't able to get on it, but they came back, and it was so impressive, the speed at which they were interchanging passes in and around the Monaco penalty area. And again, like we said at the start, they're doing what Barcelona do best, and that is a stunning goal, and there's nothing AS Monaco could do about it.
Pau moves on to 16 goals now. As you were saying, Adam, they have that telepathic relationship with Alex Alguacil providing the assists and Pau putting the ball away. 15 assists for Alex, 16 goals for Pau, and it is Barcelona 1, Monaco 1.
And when teams come to stifle you, that first goal is so important to give you that belief and know that you can break down this resolute AS Monaco defence. They've done it. Can they kick on? We have seen it time and time again, how a goal breathes life into their performance, and we might see that again here. And it's Monaco that are going to make a few changes as we approach the midway through the second half. And it's Malcolm that's going to come on for Rafinha, and Boateng comes off and Dembele on. So they're going for an attacking set of changes as Semedo also comes on for Vidal, and Monaco ring the changes as well.
Well, very intriguing stage of the game now. Moulou has lost his way. Piqué can pick it up, but he's cleared straight into a couple of Monaco players. Nudge down now to Diop, and Diop fires on towards Gelson Martins, who can't quite stretch enough to keep that one in play. Barcelona still with much more possession, but not quite as dominant as they were at the end of the first half. Dembele back to Longley, and Vinicius underneath that. He continues his run. Thuram can bring it forwards and now releases Vinicius. Gregori's in the centre, and the keeper didn't get anything on that. Messi for Semedo. Given away, though, sloppy stuff from Barcelona at the moment.
Yeah, Monaco seems to be in the ascendancy at the moment, and they've got another chance here from Diop. They managed to smuggle it away, but certainly Monaco sent some blood here. We said at the start of the game, Mark, how evenly balanced these two teams are, and well, they've certainly delivered a performance to suggest that we might see 3 sets of penalty shootouts.
Suarez for Messi, and again looking for Luis Suarez, that little link-up play that we see so often, just not quite coming off there. Malcolm to Suarez, but again there was the quick, crisp interchange. Monaco wise to it, though, and now they have the chance to hit on the counter, and that's a very vital interception from Piqué. Dembele, Suarez, back to Dembele. That's more like it from Barcelona. Dembele into the box now, looking for support. Malcolm able to turn. Suarez and Messi charge down. Enough bodies back there for Monaco, but pressure may be building.
Yeah, brave defending there from Monaco. Last chance saloon stuff as They battened down the hatches because the siege was on there as Barcelona came forward, and they're coming forward again here. Lovely one-touch football again, and just as I say that, he takes too many touches and gets challenged.
Vinicius now for Monaco, fired across, and they've got numbers forwards here. Must be a goal! Oh, what a save, but the rebound's in! Well, they have carved Barcelona open there, and they're within touching distance of winning the first game of this best-of-3 semi-final match.
How important might that goal be from Diop? It was wonderful football from AS Monaco. You've got to feel for the goalkeeper. It looks to go down. You said in the commentary it was a good save. I'd like to see it again because I'm not sure how much he knew about it, and if only he could have pushed it slightly further to the side. I'm not sure if he'll be disappointed with that. Turned home into an empty net, of course. But it is advantage AS Monaco, and a vital, vital goal for the French side.
Well, they are within touching distance now of taking a 1-0 lead in this semi-final. And we know how crucial it is to get your noses in front, because it heaps the pressure on the opposition. It will mean that Barcelona, the top scorers coming into the semi-finals after the regulation league campaign, will need to be on their mettle in game 2 of a potential series of 3, and some changes and movement tactically are being made. It is, well, a crucial closing stage of this game. Can they get the ball up there? They don't have much time to be able to fashion a leveller, and what will Monaco do? Will they try and soak up possession?
Yeah, time running out, and AS Monaco, one of the hardest teams to break down when you need a goal. So it'll be interesting to see whether the changes make any difference. Frustration on the faces of Alex and Pau as that goal went in. A wry smile, of course, from Usmakabal, the AS Monaco player, because he knew he was a little bit fortunate to get that rebound as Jovetic plays it through to Pellegrini, and it's a chance here for AS Monaco again to tick down the clock.
Well, they've wasted it, though, because they've gifted possession back to Barcelona. Fired up towards Dembele. Suarez has found Messi. Messi dispossessed, though. Good defending from Monaco. Now they just need to try and keep the ball. There's not long left to go now, and if they retain possession, they will win this first game. Jovetic on the chase here. Ter Stegen has to clear because it was a back pass. Diop has it now, but they've missed the opportunity to run down a few seconds there because they've lost the ball, and Barcelona will have one last chance to try and get level in the game and take us into extra time. Has that chance gone, though? Vinicius wins possession well and is
frustration.
fouled, and that is an ideal thing for Monaco because they can take as much time as possible now. It's a red card as well for Todibo.
Deserve it as well. It was a really nasty challenge there. The frustrations all around the Barcelona players, and like you said, exactly what AS Monaco wanted to tick down that clock. They can fire it high into the box. They might even get a third here. Easy save for Ter Stegen, but it's do or die now. 1 minute remaining for the 10 men of Barcelona to grab an unlikely equaliser from the jaws of defeat.
Dembele now, it needs to go long. Semedo has it. A minute of stoppage time. This will be the last chance they have. Messi, Suarez, Dembele, Suarez again. Dembele, Suarez, what a goal that would be. Dembele, oh, still alive, Suarez!
He's done it!
They've snatched it right at the death to take us into extra time. Well, you couldn't get any later than that. Suarez makes it 2-2. Well, how about that for drama?
The equalising goal right at the death, the 92nd minute, and the 10 men of FC Barcelona just don't know when they're beaten. Luis Suarez pops up with a vital goal, and defensively, oh, what a mistake this was, because it ricocheted around. He didn't know anything about it, and it just came straight back to Luis Suarez, and he scrambled it under the onrushing goalkeeper. The question is, Mark, how important might that sending off be, because now they've got to play extra time with a player less?
Well, I think that we're going to see tactics come into play here, because that is going to be key. The 10 men of Barcelona will look to take advantage of the disappointment for Monaco. They know how important that goal could prove to be in the semi-final. There will be barely time to kick off again before we go in to an additional extra time period.
And this is why we love the game. The last kick of the 90 minutes, and it's an equalising goal right at the death. You've got to feel for AS Monaco. They had that in the bag, didn't they?
They did. It will be a test of their mentality here, as well as their technique in trying to take advantage of Barcelona's numerical disadvantage. Semedo has it then for Barcelona. How will they shape up? They've still got 4 men at the back. It looks as though Messi's going to drop a bit deeper here to try and bulk up the midfield to compensate for the fact that they have a man less. We can see that Barcelona have a pause waiting. Semedo nearly through for Luis Suarez. Here's Pellegrini, and now Vinicius. Barcelona taking no chances with the amount of men back, and Pellegrini is in and scores. How about that for a composed finish? And Monaco are back in front, and the 10 men of Barca have it all to do once again.
Yeah, just seconds into extra time to get that goal, and I was just about to say it's roles reversed. Now we've got AS Monaco in the ascendancy, having all of the possession, and Barcelona just trying to shut up shop really and hope for penalties. And unfortunately for them, they've been undone within the first few minutes of extra time, and it's got to go down surely as a Gerard Piqué slight misjudged interception there, as the ball just goes straight past him and it's tapped into an empty net. And as Alex is rather furious at that goal going in, and business as usual as far as Makabal and Lotfield were concerned.
Well, they're unhappy about something, and they're now making some changes. I'm sure we'll hear about that a bit later with Diego down in the mix zone when he speaks to both sets of players, but visible annoyance there.
Alex still shaking his head down there as well as they try to change a few things here, and it looks like the 4 players going forwards with Semedo just dropping in behind, and of course there's that gaping hole defensively in the midfield where that sending off occurred. And I mean, it was a needless red card as well, wasn't it? He was going nowhere. It wasn't like it was last ditch. It was out on the flanks, and it was a decision that could cost them.
But they know that they didn't have very long left in normal time and came back to fashion an equalizer. They have more time remaining in this extra time period, so they know that it is far from all being lost for them.
They've pushed their 4 defenders forwards as well, so they're playing a very high line, which could be a real problem on the counter-attack. But of course they want to win the ball high to utilise the fact that they don't have as many players, and hopefully they can sneak an equalising goal. But it is almost a do-or-die tactic.
Well, you wouldn't count anything out in whatever happens in the second game, because we saw that there were heavy wins for both of them in the matchday 5 meeting. So if Monaco do win this one, don't rule out Barcelona roaring back to take us into a decider. We saw Celtic win by 2-0 when they played Nantes earlier on. Suarez is through.
He should have shot. He should have shot, because the chance was gaping to put it into that far corner. And I said about pressing high and winning the ball high, and that's exactly what they did. They just weren't able to capitalise.
Well, we saw frustration at the concession of the goal that's put Monaco back in front. More frustration there, because those 2 will know that should have been 3-3. Here is Vinicius. Diop. And that's a clever ball in. If they get another goal now, you'd feel it would be too much even for the mighty Barcelona to turn around in what time is remaining. Dembele towards Messi, almost half-time in extra time. Nelson Semedo has Dembele in space. Here he is now. Final few seconds of the first period of extra time. And Monaco clear their lines, and they are nearly there, but they will know that it is not job done just yet.
Well,
Barcelona continue to dictate possession.
They were 7 seconds away, weren't they? So it could all happen again and could unravel again. I don't know about you, but if I was the players, I'd be incredibly nervous right now. I'm chewing my nails myself.
Nelson Semedo for Barcelona won't have many more opportunities. Need to make them count. Had a really good one, didn't they, with Suarez that they failed to take. How costly will that miss prove to be? At the moment, Monaco unable to get their foot on the ball, so they've just knocked it long. Remember, Barcelona playing with 10 men, and they could almost be in trouble there. Ter Stegen will make the gather. So, Barcelona need a goal, or else they will need a win in the next game to avoid elimination. Monaco will be on course to take their place in the final against Celtic, who saw off Nantes earlier. Jovetic over halfway, and they've got 4-on-4 if they play this right. Jovetic now, 2 in the area to aim for. Decent looking ball in as well. Barcelona just about clear, and Piqué can shovel it forwards to Malcolm. Malcolm as Suarez in attack. Messi finds Luis Suarez now. Nice turn from him. Dembele back to Suarez. Dembele could be in here. It's Dembele to make it 3-3. Again, it's a chance that goes begging.
Again, they're over-elaborating in that final third. If he just pulled the trigger, we may have had the goal. If you don't shoot, you simply will not score. Massive, massive cliche, I know, but that was the case there. Again, tried to play the pass across.
Well, this is clever now. They're
yeah,
taking
really
the ball
clever.
down to the corner, which
Game
is
management.
what they should have done really in normal time. They've won the free kick as well, and I'm sure it'll just be same again in terms of trying to keep the ball down.
They'll hold this
there.
now, yeah. They'll hold this in the corner, you would imagine. If they cross it in, it could be a real mistake.
So, here we have a change being made again to try and just see them home here and see them take a 1-0 lead in this best of 3 semi-final. Jovetic has come short, and Jovetic is waiting for the ball to be released. This is a crucial final few seconds, and they do take it short. Barcelona need to win it back, can't do so at the moment. We are into injury time now, in extra time, and Diop's wriggled through, and will settle quite happily for the throw, because they are virtually there now. It would take something extra special if Barcelona were to get a leveller from this position. Negri's flick on, they could make absolutely sure and have done. Well, that's it. Monaco win the first game in the semi-final. All smiles for the 2 Frenchmen. They are 4-2 up, and Monaco have won this first game.
Yeah, a simple tap-in at the end, but the 4-2 scoreline only tells half the story. It flatters Monaco a little bit, I feel, but nevertheless, you can't deny they're not worthy winners, but they have taken full advantage of that sending off for Barcelona. And I did say when it happened, how crucial could that rush of blood be? And it's proved incredibly, incredibly important. Shake of the heads again there from the Barcelona contingent, Alex and Pau, and smiles all around from Lotfi and Usmakabile as well. It has finished here at the end of the first game of the second semi-final, and it's well and truly advantage AS Monaco.
Yeah, well done, Monaco. They showed toughness of mentality, and they recovered from conceding that goal so late on, which must have really, really hurt. But Barcelona, we saw frustration from them. They need to quickly regroup and get ready to go again, because they are 1-0 down. It's not showing it there, but they are 1-0 down in this best of 3 semi-final, so they have to win this next match or they are eliminated.
So second game just about to get underway, going through their formation changes, etc. It looks like AS Monaco are going to go with exactly the same squad, which saw them 4-2 victors in that opening 90 minutes. I say 90 minutes, it actually, of course, went to extra time after that late goal from Luis Suarez. And at that moment in time, we thought, hello, this could be one of those moments that we look back on, the real drama moments, coming back from the depths of defeat with 10 men. But unfortunately, on this occasion, it wasn't to be. But they have a second chance to come back and do just that. Of course, now they have 11 versus 11 again. And it's AS Monaco versus Barcelona in the second game here in semi-final 2.
Badiashile sends it back to Subasic then. Would it be the same type of tactics from Monaco that worked so well for them? The counter-attacking philosophy where they allowed Barcelona to have upwards of 80% possession in the first half, but still managed to come away with a victory, albeit after extra time. We saw heavy victories for both sides when they met on match day 5, but a narrow, you couldn't get much closer success for Monaco in the first meeting in the semi-finals. Pressure on Barcelona then. Vidal to Boateng, looking for Vidal again, floated towards Suarez, and he was almost on the end of that, Luis Suarez. Now it's Messi to Debo. Messi again. Vidal worked on to Messi. They've got numbers forwards here. Messi again just tried to be a bit too elaborate. That's something that we've seen Barcelona be guilty of. Suarez, perhaps the players just need to be a bit more selfish when in front of goal. That might be something that was spoken about between Alex and Pau during the brief interlude between the first match of this semi-final. Best of 3, remember. The final is best of 5. And it's a free kick here, which Vidal will take. Vidal looking for potential short option. No chances so far for either side. Vidal has it. Now looking to float it into Boateng. What an opportunity! And he shoots and scores. And this time they didn't over-elaborate. And the result is that they have a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, you feel that they might have been talking to each other after that first game, saying, come on, we've had a few chances, we've missed them by over-elaborating, playing that extra pass. Not on this occasion. He made absolutely no mistake. Prince Boateng, of course, shortened name there, as Ter Stegen is absolutely loving that right there. And an important goal because they trailed against AS Monaco in that first game. Now they find themselves for the first time in front. And it was simple football. One-touch football from the free kick. The goalkeeper, you feel, probably should have done a bit better. But you have to say it was a smart finish in the end from Boateng. Advantage Barcelona on home soil here, of course. The eFootball.Pro arena we are live broadcasting from is housed in the Spanish city of Barcelona. And look what it means to those two players. Signed by Barcelona for this season, and I'm sure they're happy with their choices because these two boys have been absolutely superb for them, not only on the field but also off it as well. They're great to listen to, of course, during interviews, etc., and they have nothing but kind words to say about the other players as well in the tournament, and the fans watching as well at home. 80 minutes gone here, and it is Barcelona 1, AS Monaco 0.
I just wonder about whether there was a bit of a conversation regarding how they were going to approach this in front of goal, because when Suarez had that opportunity, Messi was waiting in the centre, but went for goal instead, and that's the difference between the sides. Rafinha midway through the first half now. Suarez, nice turn, but turned into trouble. Boateng making the run. Monaco can't get out at the moment. Maybe it's them that need to think about rejigging their ideas, because Boateng has it in a dangerous area. Suarez was lurking as well up towards Pellegrini. Masengo, misplaced passes for Monaco at the moment. Golovin sends it on. Todibo intervenes. Boateng now can send it up towards Suarez. Here he is again, Boateng. Suarez missed it though, and all a bit scrappy at the moment.
Yeah, huge cliche to say the next goal is important, but we've seen not only in the first game between these two where often both sides were pegged back, but also in that first semi-final as well, the fact that Celtic were able to get a 2-goal cushion in the first game was enough to see them through to the final. So a second goal here for Barcelona could put them really in the driving seat, of course.
Yeah, you can see there Alex Alguacil with 7 goals, Pau with 17 to his name. But the top scorer is in danger of seeing his team eliminated unless Barcelona do win this game. And at the moment they're, of course, on course to do that. But you really don't feel that there's any chance of this ending 1-0. Golovin looking for Pellegrini, who is in. Vinicius now. Golovin again. Better from Monaco. And very nearly 1-1 for Monaco.
Should have been 1-1, Mark. It was a huge chance, and based on how clinical the French side have been so far, you would expect you would have put your house on that. It's a stunning save, actually, in the end. I'm not really sure how much more the Monaco striker could have actually done. Fingertip stuff from Barcelona's number 1. It is a corner to be taken on the near touchline.
Well, Saw there that Barcelona 50-odd% possession, and that is much more even than we saw in the first game when they had in excess of 80. And here is Pellegrini. It's another good save. Well, they're starting to find some holes now in the Barcelona backline of Monaco.
Yeah, I think Barcelona have actually changed their tactics a little bit. I think they are going more defensive than they did in the first game. They were happy to boss large parts. As we said, 70-odd% possession. It's been more even, and I think that's a tactic Barcelona have used. But unfortunately for them, if you give Monaco the ball equally, they can fashion chances. On that occasion, I think it was actually a poor finish. It was a great save, the first one, but that time I think he could have gone a little bit further away from the goalkeeper. It was too central, and it was an easy save in the end.
They're looking for that ball straight through the centre, aren't they, Monaco, which served them well in the first meeting between the sides.
It served them well all tournament, actually. All season they've been using that straight through the middle, using the number 10 position and sort of orchestrating all the play in and around and off that. As Barcelona come forward, though, this time with Luis Suarez, and it's the wrong side of the post. Another huge chance for the Uruguayan.
Well, how close was this? At first glance, it looked like it was only narrowly wide of the post, and indeed almost shaved the post on its way past. So a warning sign there for Monaco. It could easily be 2-2 given the last passage of play where Monaco have gone twice on a couple of occasions. Boateng now for Suarez. Boateng again. Suarez for Rafinha. And they've got an overload here. It's Vidal and Boateng looking for some support. That's a poor pass. And that is half-time. Barcelona 1, Monaco 0.
Yep, Kevin Prince Boateng, the goal scorer early on in that first half, and AS Monaco have rattled a few times on the door, but unfortunately for them, it's remained firmly shut at this moment in time. One great save, really, from Ter Stegen. The other one, a sloppy finish, and it's another really poor challenge from Barcelona. Hopefully for them, the referee will give them the benefit of the doubt, and he has done on this occasion. Just a ticking off the first caution of this second half as the ball gets whistled in, but headed goalwards straight at the goalkeeper.
Well, Pellegrini was up there well, but couldn't get the direction he was hoping for on his header. Here is Messi. That's a clever pass. Boateng is in to make it 2-0. Oh, it was nearly an own goal. Good defending in the end. But once more, you do wonder, could they have had a go at goal rather than go for the pass? Gelson Martins has gone for the pass here. Pellegrini, nice turn. And Golovin was waiting, but he took too long to pass to his teammate. Naldo can send it up towards Vinicius. Here is Pellegrini again. Just rebounds off him, though. Messi early to Suarez. Boateng is in the pocket. Suarez for Messi. That's better. And Messi now with a heavy touch, which allows Monaco to bring it forwards. No foul there. They were just waiting to see if the whistle would go. Vinicius runs into Todibo, and Rafinha now for Barcelona. Here's Boateng. Now Messi. Took too long.
Yeah, he's been caught a couple of times. Very unlike Lionel Messi, actually. But just going back to that chance, with the goal, they took it first time, something that we said even after the first game. It's very difficult for them to get out of the mindset when you're playing one-touch tiki-taka, always the simple option, to then actually take the shot on almost, and you want to play the easy pass across always. And unfortunately, defensively, Monaco have been able to read that on most occasions. The goal came from the early shot, and this time it's gone back to the pass across the face, and again, the interception comes in. 56 minutes gone, and a free kick in a relatively dangerous position for Barcelona. What can they do with it?
Well, as things stand, leading 1-0, if they win this game, then we would go into a decider, because it would be one win each in the best-of-3 series in the semi-finals. Celtic are lying in wait in the best-of-5 final, and they came through theirs fairly comfortably in the end, so they didn't have to play a third match. Will that mean that they're fresher? Barcelona looking to absolutely cement their victory in this game. Gelson Martins has it for Monaco. Turned around the corner for Diop, but it was a bit too telegraphed, so Barca have it back. Dembele spins it on, but spins it out of play. 2/3 of the way through this game. Still 1-0 to Barcelona.
A scoreline we very rarely see here in the eFootball.Pro League. it would be certainly a professional performance from Barcelona, but they've still got half an hour of game time remaining, and AS Monaco are pretty lethal. If they get a chance, you'd almost put a banker on them actually getting the goal. So they've got to certainly be on their toes and concentrated as we approach this final third, as Piqué does just that.
Sends it back to the keeper, so ter Stegen can send it upfield. Midway through the second half then, Diop have struggled to create too many clear-cut chances in this second half, Monaco. Is that going to change here? Not from the looks of it. Diop taken off him by Messi, Dembele and Messi again. And they've got two on this left-hand side. Dembele making good ground now. Can he get the cross in? He can find Suarez instead. Semedo, this would settle it. Barcelona double their lead and are surely going to take us into a decider in this semi-final. They're set to win this game. It's going to make it 1-1, and it's going to take us into a winner-takes-all clash next.
And when they get it right, it's absolutely breathtaking from Barcelona. One touch and clinical finish, and it's a joy to behold. Of course, the second goal cushion probably will just be about that. I was just going to say it's pretty similar to when these two sides faced each other in the group stage as well. Monaco getting the first win, and then Barcelona changing a few things and being far more resolute defensively. And again, in this game, we've seen in the second match, they seem to get it right. I just don't know why it takes them a game against AS Monaco to actually do that. But nevertheless, a wonderful, wonderful finish. And unfortunately for AS Monaco, they find themselves 2-0 down and all to do again in this third decider, unless we see something truly breathtaking from them.
Well, they may as well go for it now, because goal differences of no concern for them. They are just going to have to go again in the final game, unless Pellegrini can give them hope here. But they've not quite been at it in this game. Credit to Barcelona, but also maybe some questions for them to ask themselves before the quick turnaround for the winner-takes-all encounter we have coming next. Malcolm just looking to add some further gloss to the scoreline. Malcolm, round the keeper,
wonderful,
coolly done, and that will be good for them in terms of confidence and momentum going into the showdown that we have coming up shortly.
Very unlike Barcelona, lethal, straight through the middle, round the goalkeeper. Job well and truly done. And what's interesting from watching up here is that it's almost roles reversed from the first game. And we're watching now, I touched on it earlier, but we're watching Barcelona playing a much more defensive setup and in turn hitting AS Monaco on the counter. And because they're not allowing AS Monaco enough room to counter-attack, it's actually causing Monaco a lot of problems to break them down. Whereas in the first game, because Barcelona had the ball so far up the pitch, there was so much space in behind, and that is when Monaco are at their most dangerous. So tactically, they've got this superbly right in this second game.
And it's interesting that they bounced back on match day 5 from losing their first game against Monaco with a 4-0 victory in the next encounter, and they are 3-0 up this time around, having lost to Monaco in the first match. Diop looking for what would just be a consolation, but the Monaco players' thoughts will already be drifting across to the third match in this best-of-3 semi-final, which will decide who joins Celtic in the final, which is a best-of-5 encounter, and that will come up straight after the conclusion of the semi-finals. Pellegrini here, and not even a consolation
when it doesn't go right for you. Yeah, another chance comes and goes for AS Monaco. Mark, do you see, if we often talk about momentum, we've seen that shift in this game. Do you see that it puts everything on a plate for Barcelona in the decider?
I think they'll be feeling that they've now started to click, so they know what is going to work for them, and the pressure will be on Monaco to try and come up with a response to make things work better for them, and that really sums up this game for them.
That, yeah, it does.
Corner going straight out of play. Long lay back to ter Stegen. That's the one thing you would say is Celtic will be happy that it's gone to the full 3 games, because it means that they've had their feet up since seeing off Nantes earlier on in the first semi-final, and they'll be watching whoever comes through this one having to really go for it and maybe be a bit fatigued when it comes to the final. Here's Vinicius, and Diop with a chance for a consolation, and he won't get it there either as ter Stegen makes the save, and it could be a rare clean sheet for Barcelona.
Famous last words.
Here is the free kick with just a couple of minutes left to play. Naldo takes it short, and again it doesn't come off for AS Monaco. Upfield towards Suarez. Jemison has it, and now forwards towards Gelson Martins, who can send it across, and there is...
Oh, it's at the crossbar.
Looked as though it was going to be a consolation. It's not, though, and when it's not your day, it's not your day. And Monaco will just be hoping that that kind of luck doesn't follow them through to the next match.
They surely can't have any worse than this game. They've had quite a few chances now that have come and gone, and either a lack of finishing ability or, of course, on this occasion it came straight back off the woodwork. But as you said, hopefully in the next game for them they'll be able to turn it back on. But unfortunately in football it's very, very hard to turn it on like a tap. And it has finished here 3-0 to Barcelona. Just talking about Celtic again, Josh and Eldridge. Who do you think they'll be wanting to play out of these two teams?
It's a good question. I think that it depends on which style of play they'd feel more confident combating. I think that they possibly are quite similar to Barcelona in terms of their style of play. So perhaps Barcelona would be the side just on the basis that they would be coming up against two players that try to go about the game in a sort of very same way as they do.
Yep, I hear you on that one. Certainly the styles between Barcelona and Celtic are very similar, of course, being played by two Dutch lads as well. Similar sort of philosophy as Messi finds Suarez, and now back to Messi again, plays it over the top. Barcelona looking for the early start here in the playoff final.
Here is Piqué up towards Boateng. Gelson Martins has it now for Monaco. And Pellegrini through the centre again, scores! Well, how about that? We've seen them do it so many times, but they've still managed to pull it off there. An early goal in what is a winner-takes-all clash for a place in the final.
Almost identical to the first game, straight through the middle, ball over the top, soaked up the pressure and smashed straight past the goalkeeper. And from Barcelona's point of view, they'll be very irritated by the fact that they've allowed it to happen again. But the question is, when they're on for Monaco with this sort of play, how do you stop it? How do you combat it?
Very tricky indeed. And a knowing glance between Alex and Pau there at the fact that they allowed Monaco to produce that trump card once again.
I do enjoy Asmakabal's celebrations that are almost like he's conceded a goal for AS Monaco there.
Yeah, you couldn't tell just by their reactions whether they've scored or conceded, could you?
He'd be a good poker player as the ball gets played in.
Two
what a start.
in quick succession, and Monaco now can smell a place in the final. Barcelona have it all to do, and their chances of getting their hands on that trophy have just been prized away from them.
We were talking about momentum and how we felt that it might go in Barcelona's favour. Well, they've been completely asleep in the opening 10 minutes here in the final game. Goalkeeper all over the place there, head in his hands. The players themselves, Alex Alguacil and Pau with the head in their hands, they're not quite sure what's happened. But what we do know is they find themselves 2-0 down, and they've got an absolute mountain to climb.
Well, there's one thing we've learnt, it's that they do have plenty of goals in their locker, the top scorers in the league campaign, and they will need all of that goal-scoring prowess. Although the one thing you would say that is on their side is the fact that there is still a lot of time remaining. Two early goals, very early goals from Monaco. Golovin, Vinicius and Pellegrini, and Golovin went out. Well, for a minute there you thought that they were going to go 3-0 up early on, and that would have been quite remarkable. Piqué back to ter Stegen, and he has sent it wide to Chumi. Here is Messi now, and Todibo. Barcelona looking to just hit their stride after the sucker punch of the concession of those two early goals, but it's Monaco who seem to have the bit between their teeth now, and Masengo, Pellegrini was waiting for it. even with the attacking might that Barcelona possess, you would find it hard to back them to come back from 3-0 down if they were to ship another. Here's Messi, though, running into a bit of space. Angle against him. He's got the cross in, though. Good defending from Monaco. Gelson Martins given away to Clement Longley. Vidal, Rafinha, Suarez for Messi. And just buffeted off it. Rafinha picks it up now. Can't find a teammate, though. Vinicius can bring it down for Monaco. It's been a very lively first half of the first half, and Gelson Martins unable to get a shot away. Pellegrini nearly making his way in towards goal.
Really, really impressive from AS Monaco, but unfortunately for Barcelona now, is they are playing right into the French team's hands, because of course this is where they like to be. They like to soak up pressure. They have the 2-goal cushion. They can hit them on the counter, and as long as they can stay concentrated, this could be a long, long afternoon for Barcelona. But the sort of side that never ever know when they're beaten. They sense that they can still get plenty from this game as Rafinha tries to shot, and some of the Barcelona fans inside the eFootball.Pro arena here with their head in their hands. They thought that was a moment, but unfortunately for them and Alex and Pau, it was a good block. And now AS Monaco are in again here. Chance for 3, pull back, Pellegrini, blocked, surely saved on the line. Unbelievable.
Well, that could be the save that keeps Barcelona in the tournament. Boateng, Vidal. Well, one thing is guaranteed. We have got some drama in store for you. Boateng. Glick can clear. Vinicius underneath it. And Piqué has to be quick. Masengo picked up by Todibo. Boateng for Suarez, Rafinha and Boateng. Here's Luis Suarez.
He's given a free kick. I just thought Suarez had turned the wrong way there. He had the chance to pull the trigger. He tried to be clever, a bit too cute, but they have got the free kick, and Boateng has the chance to cross it in, looking for Messi or Suarez. It's right across the face. No one there, though, for where he positioned the cross. And unfortunately for Barcelona, that pretty much sums up their game so far, as Pellegrini tries to counter-attack, and it's going to be a throw.
Adam, what do you put down this change in fortunes to? Because Barcelona swept Monaco away in the last game, but it's been a role reversal. What's changed?
It's really hard to put my finger on it. It's Barcelona were shell-shocked in the opening 10 minutes. They just simply, and I don't know whether this just happens sometimes when you're always at the top of your game in these massive tournaments, that if you allow yourself 5-10 minutes breather mentally, concentration-wise, it can be really, really damaging, and that's exactly what's happened. They just haven't turned up, and now they're playing catch-up.
What a shocking stat we just saw there. No shots at all for Barcelona in this first half. That is remarkable.
And I'm not sure how much of that is down to defensive abilities of AS Monaco, or just simply how not at the races Barcelona have been in the attacking third. It might just be a bit of both.
Remarkable, thinking we're watching the same two teams that played in the last game when Barcelona were utterly dominant. Here's Boateng. They're looking to have a first shot on goal of the half, with the half almost at an end. Suarez poked through. Boateng, is this the chance? Took too long, and Monaco should and eventually do clear their lines.
The only trouble for Barcelona is every single goal that they score comes from a perfect bit of football, and if things aren't quite going right, or that final pass is a bit delayed, or you're not quite at the top of your game, the goals simply don't flow. And we've come to the end of the first half, and it's been plain sailing for AS Monaco, really.
Well, Monaco know they just need a similar performance in the second half, and they are through to the final against Celtic, which is coming up for you next. So it's a huge half of PES action for you. Barcelona have to find 2 goals, or else they are out, and it's Monaco who face Celtic in the final. Suarez to Rafinha. What have Barcelona got in their locker? They've got the top scorer in Pau. He needs to step up now, as does the top assist maker in Alex Alguacil. They've combined nicely there, and they have a free kick.
Hounding Messi there. And the free kick has been awarded, a chance to either go for goal. It's quite a long way out, though. I'm pretty sure He'll probably go short. He has done. He's gone to Vidal, back to Rafinha now. Lionel Messi joins the attack, but he's given it to Vidal. A bit of a mix-up there, but they do have it back. And cleared away this time by Glick. And now AS Monaco can counter. And this is where they are most dangerous. And Barcelona have got to be very, very careful, because a third goal will certainly be curtains. And that is exactly not what they want. A goal for Barcelona, on the other hand, and we could be set up for a bandstand finish as Rafinha looks to take it quickly, but he's going to delay and go again.
Yeah, they need something soon, you fancy, Barcelona, just to inject a bit of belief in them and stop the play becoming somewhat desperate as they go for broke. Both players just having a look at their options and trying to ensure that they have the best personnel and the best tactics out there for their respective purposes. Barcelona looking for a rescue job, Monaco looking for a containment task, really. They are on course, firmly on course, but a goal can change that. Dembele, Suarez, well worked. Dembele.
Oh, he stepped over it.
And again, perhaps Adam's observation that they always try to play the perfect goal has come back to haunt them there. Diop with a good bit of play. Pellegrini almost in. Well, that could have been the clincher.
What an unbelievable challenge that was from Gerard Piqué. And if they are to get anything from this game, we may look back at that as one of those wonder challenges that can really make or break a season, as Malcolm finds Luis Suarez again. They just can't find this perfect goal. And I've got Diego on my right-hand side, a Barcelona fan, his head in his hands. He's just urging the two players on, but it's just not happening right now.
Well, it's a foul and a free kick in a promising position. Just a yellow card. We did see a red card in the first game between these sides that proved costly. 4 fouls committed by Monaco. It's left Dembele needing treatment. Where's this free kick going? Suarez! Not far away.
Huge moment that would have been, had that have flown into the back of the net. But when it's not your day, it's not your day. And Luis Suarez, high, wide and not so handsome. And 30 minutes from crashing out here, Barcelona, of the eFootball.Pro League semi-finals, to an AS Monaco side who have played this third game incredibly professionally, and they chance for 3, cleared away again. And Barcelona know they are hanging on a knife edge here from crashing out.
Gelson Martins, a goal now, and Monaco really could start to celebrate, but they've not found a way through there. Dembele now to Messi. It's almost last chance saloon time for Barca now. Glick smacked up towards Vinicius. Pellegrini, and now Ahulu to Gelson Martins, and Pellegrini, this would settle it. Gelson Martins, that's it. Monaco are going to the final. Fabulous combination play, and the French pair finishing off this semi-final very strongly. Barcelona 0, Monaco 3.
We talk about Barcelona looking to create the perfect goal. Well, AS Monaco have done just that. It's a lot easier when you're 2-0 to the good. The back heel there when others would have shot and fired home into the bottom left-hand corner. Ter Stegen, absolutely no chance. And AS Monaco, on the day, in this third game, have well and truly deserved to take the win, which will send them surely now, barring an absolute landslide collapse, to a first ever eFootball.Pro League final. Incredible.
Well, it's remarkable, isn't it? Given how nip and tuck the first game was, it was only settled in extra time. Barcelona then won the second game by a healthy margin, and Monaco at the moment are running away with this one and running into the final, where they will face Celtic. Celtic against Monaco will be our best of 5 final, unless we can see something utterly magnificent from FC Barcelona, who need 3 goals in the second half of the second half.
Truly incredible it will be, and I will be on tenterhooks if they could grab even just the 1 goal. And what I am keen to find out, if it does stay like this, is from Diego Lorin, our wonderful data analyst and reporter. I want to hear from him and the players after the game. I want to know from the 2 lads from Barcelona what happened in the opening 10 minutes of this game, because at this moment in time it just seems like that's where this game has been lost.
Indeed.
But nevertheless, we still have 20 minutes and Dembele has the ball.
This needs to go in from Barcelona, it really does. And Dembele has lost possession. Diop and Ahulu. Pellegri's made a run through the centre again. There's no flag. Jovetic, this to put the icing on the cake. Oh, my word, it's 4. Monaco are going to the final in style. They are battering Barcelona. It is 4-0.
When they are in front, they have the best possible style to achieve maximum damage in that attacking third. They are counter-attacking masterclass winners, really, because that's exactly what they're going to be. The goals are just flying in now. Another lethal finish from them. And Barcelona, they had to throw every person forwards, and it looked like almost offside. The referee and the linesman decided between them that wasn't the case. The goalkeeper, of course, had no chance. And it's Barcelona 0, AS Monaco 4.
Well. Those two players who are amongst the best in the business, staring down the barrel of elimination.
And we still don't know whether Esmakabal scored or conceded.
Yep, maybe we'll see some more defined celebrations from him shortly, because it is going to be Monaco against Celtic in the final. Jovetic, surely they're not going to make it 5. Jovetic almost appealing for a penalty there. Diop for Monaco. Have to give them credit for the way they've responded to being heavily beaten by Barcelona in the last game. Flag is up this time. In fact, it's a free kick Monaco's way, so they do have a chance to maybe turn it into a 5-star performance.
I mean, this is some way to go into a final, isn't it?
Yeah, they'll have played a game more than Celtic.
Oh.
And they would have played more recently than Celtic as well, so...
How much do you think that'll affect Celtic having to watch this?
Well, you wonder, they'll be more refreshed, that's for sure, but obviously it means that Monaco will come in on a high and also have more recent game experience of getting everything absolutely right. They'll know what has worked for them. But then again, Celtic would have seen exactly how they have beaten Barcelona and will be wise to those dangers.
You said that Celtic would possibly, on paper, prefer a final game up against Barcelona for similar styles. That's not going to be the case now, we know for sure. So they've got to do it the hard way, you feel?
Absolutely. Two different types of styles, but we all know what has been key for Monaco. It's that ball through the centre that has caused problems time after time after time, and Barcelona haven't been able to deal with it, and that is why they are going to be eliminated.
We've also seen how early goals have been so crucial. We know that, of course, it's great to get in front, but the speed at which they doubled the lead in this game, and how Celtic doubled the lead in their first game, and they're in again here. It's a chance for Diop to make it 5, to round off a wonderful, wonderful performance. What a goal from AS Monaco again.
It's a fantastic 5 from Monaco, and Barcelona are beaten, well and truly beaten. And once more, we spoke about it just a few seconds ago, the ball through the centre ends in the back of the net.
Remarkable to watch, knowing how good Alex and Pau have been during this season in the eFootball.Pro League. They've been well and truly dismantled in this third game.
Now, the other thing to bear in mind is that up against the top scorer and the top assist provider, they're on course to keep a clean sheet, which is no mean feat either for Monaco.
And really, they haven't been lucky either. I can't think of many chances Barcelona have created in this final game. And also, I hate to say it, but Pau, the goal scorer, the Golden Boot winner, the Pichichi man, could possibly be in threat, because Lotfi now has 16 goals to Pau's 18. And of course, Lotfi will be going to the final, where potentially we may see 5 games. So you would feel, if you were a betting man, Lotfi is best placed to go on to be the Golden Boot winner into added time here in the final game. And AS Monaco surely now are going to possibly wrap up one of the greatest performances we've seen in the eFootball.Pro League so far this season.
Jovetic and Gelson Martins. Oh my word, it is a sensational 6 from the Frenchmen. They can smile, and they have laid down a marker. The mighty Barcelona have been well and truly smashed for 6. And Celtic, take note, Monaco are absolutely motoring their way into the final. This is some performance and some way to reach the showpiece event.
Barcelona humbled on home soil. 6 of the best for AS Monaco. The French champions now surely going all the way through and are looking in really good form for that final. And Celtic, you would feel, watching on thinking, wow, we have a game on our hands. And you've got to feel for Alex and Pau as we finally get a celebration from Usman Kabyle as the game finishes, and handshakes all around, of course. Nice to see, tough to take for the Barcelona contingent, but Mark, worthy victors?
Yeah, you'd have to say so. I mean, you didn't see that margin of victory coming, given how tight the first game was and the fact that Barcelona won comfortably in the second game, but Monaco just turned it on. That performance was absolutely outrageous, really, in terms of the clinical finishing. It is that ball, though, that ball through the centre that you said has served them so well throughout the tournament, that has done the damage and has put them into the final. Celtic will have seen it. They'll know what their main weapon is. Whether they can do anything about it's another question, though.
Really, really tough ask. And, well, straight away off the bat, there's your first goal, straight through the middle. Defenders all over the place. And like I said in the game commentary, I want Diego to ask the poignant question, what happened in that opening 10 minutes? Because that's where the game was lost.
Yeah,
we've seen so many times how, you know, one goal can be brought back. As soon as you go to 2 at this level, it's so difficult because the players are just so good. And counter-attacking wise, AS Monaco are probably the best team on the circuit.
Yeah, you'd have to say that. You would definitely have to say that. I mean, it has been a terrific performance from them. But strange when you see...
That was a chance.
Yeah, strange when you see 2 such different games in quick succession, as we did when they met in Game 2 and Game 3. Really, really contrasting fortunes there.
Because at this moment in time, the goal you're seeing here is from that second game when Barcelona went all out and produced a performance which, if I'm being completely honest, I'm going to hold my hands up and say I felt at that moment in time Barcelona would be in the final.
Yep.
Because they were in the ascendancy, they worked out what had gone wrong in the first game, and it's like they reverted to type in the third game. And,
yeah.
and again, they allowed AS Monaco just to suck them in and just hit them on the counter. And to lose any game is difficult, but to lose it 6-0 is tough to take.
Well, as I said, the first game went to extra time. Monaco edged that one against the 10 men of Barcelona. Barcelona roared back with a comprehensive 3-0 win, and you felt they had the momentum going into the decider. But 6-0 to Monaco just goes to show you cannot predict anything in this one.
You certainly can't, and if along those lines, I'm intrigued to find out what's going to happen in the grand final. Of course, we now know that it will be Celtic versus AS Monaco, and both teams kind of got there differently. Celtic were always really in control, even though Nantes did brilliantly well in that second game. You never felt it was out of their touch, and of course that second game, or the latter semi-final, of course AS Monaco, you know, defied all odds really in that third game and smashed Barcelona. As we said, for 6, I believe we have Mr. Diego Lorin in our mix zone with the players. Diego, please, well, actually, first we're going to go to the winners. We're going to go and speak to AS Monaco and then Barcelona.
That's it, Adam. I'm joined here by the winners, the other finalists, the boys from AS Monaco. Usman Kabyle, Lotfi, congratulations on the win, taking care of business. And of course, both of you scoring a hat-trick. Only have one ball, so you're going to have to split that one. But it's on to the final.
Yeah, we are very happy. It's one half of our job finish. Now it's the second part. We are happy of second game was maybe difficult, but we are happy of our prestation. So.
That's it. The second game was difficult. That last game, though, is 6-0, emphatic win. But now it's Celtic in the final. What's the game plan? How are you guys going to win it?
We will play our game like always, and it's a good team, so we will need to play like the last game, and I think it will be good.
Uzmakaba, you've got also the Pichichi, the top scoring, goal scoring title in sight. Is that an objective as well for you?
In French, non, c'est pas forcément un objectif. Moi, je suis là juste uniquement pour gagner et c'est tout. Peu importe qui gagne, tant qu'on gagne à la fin, c'est tout.
He's saying it's not his objective. His objective is getting not only to the final, but of course winning the final. Well, in any case, boys, you guys have done that step, taken care of business. On to the final it is. Congratulations, as I am now joined by Pau and Alex, the boys from Football Club Barcelona. Thank you, Lotfi. The unfortunate losing team on the day. Alex, Pau, my commiserations, boys. First of all, yeah, again, my commiserations. What happened in that final match, those initial 10 minutes where they got those 2 early goals?
Well, I guess we did our best. We had the handicap of the speed of them, and they are so quickly. Well, in the first moment of the game, they scored really quickly the first one. Then with the motivation of the players, scored the second one. You know, everyone who plays at home knows that when a team is winning by 2 goals or more, they have every handicap of his favor as well. They use it very well and they play very, very nice. They deserve to win the third one. But luckily, in the first one, when we got the draw in the last moment before start the extra time, we for the problem with the admin, we didn't change the players, and we started the extra time in the first game without change on the team. So we have the space of Todibo for move them easily, and luckily they scored in that moment. But with that, I think we play much better. I don't know, it's not for being arrogant, but I guess the people at home see how we play the others. Unlucky, but with Barca, we can only play like that. We can do triangle, we can do long balls. I hope the people at home enjoyed the games. It was three good games we saw today. But, well, pissed me off, you know, be outside the game. Let's see for the next season. Happy, at least. No?
Well, I definitely think that people enjoyed the matches, despite the outcome, of course, in your case. But what do you think? Did nerves have anything to do with it? We're maybe used to seeing you guys play more fluid type of football. Were there any types of nerves that prevented you from maybe implementing that gameplay that you guys are characterized by so often?
Well, I guess you mean about the match. I guess the key was the first minute of the third game. I mean, we play better than them in both games, but you know, we started so bad, and with this handicap against, they play more relaxed, 2 goals up. Then the third goal was crucial, and they did. And after that, we keep fighting until the end. Doesn't care about us if we lose by 4, 5, 6 goals. We are gonna fight. What we did. That's football, you know. Hope the best win in the final, but well. Let's see.
Let's see. Alex, you guys did the best you could. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be on the day. Wish you guys, of course, the best of luck for the next season as well. It's been a thrill and a real pleasure watching you guys play. So both of you guys, congratulations on getting this far, and hopefully, well, better luck for next season. All right, Adam, back over to you.
Yeah, thanks very much, Diego. Mark, lovely to hear from the guys there, yeah. and you could feel the frustration and I wouldn't say depression, because that's a little bit too far, but they certainly, especially Alex, he felt that, because they felt after the second game they were in the ascendancy to go through.
And I think that, you know, it's the missed opportunity, because they got back to 1-1, they recovered from the blow of losing the first game in extra time, and you fancy that the momentum was with them, but in that final game they just didn't really show up, did they? And I think that will be the thing, that, you know, they didn't take the game to Monaco. They weren't beaten in a real head-to-head where, you know, Monaco edged them in terms of quality. Monaco were just far better than them, and Barcelona didn't turn up, and that will be the main frustration.
Yeah, and of course we know they can turn up. They have done in many of the big games so far, but that opening 10 minutes, we tried to get an elaboration on what happened, but it just sounded like, you know, they got caught cold. And then the second goal then completely opens the game up for Monaco, which we know is a possibility, and one of the best counter-attacking teams we've seen on the circuit. It's incredibly hard, and then they go and they search for the goal to bring them back into the game. It then becomes 3, 4, 6 very quickly, because, as Alex said, he's happy to keep fighting all the way. Of course, remember, you can go to our Twitter at eFootball.Pro to choose your MVP. Certainly in that last game, you've got to you've got to talk about Lotfi and Usmakabal for Monaco. They were brilliant. But of course, remember the MVP choice that you might have for the final now between Celtic and AS Monaco will count double. So we could still see a winner from one of those two teams, of course. And remember, if you want the chance to get a brand new copy of PES 2019, we've got 5 to give away. And at some point between now and the end of the show, I will be giving you 2 words, which you will need to take over to Twitter at eFootball.Pro and find the pinned tweet, which is the competition tweet. And you need to comment those 2 keywords underneath. And that was a long-winded way of getting around to the next point. But yeah, that's the way you can win. Now we're going to, of course, talk a little bit about the final, which is, of course, between Celtic and AS Monaco, not the final that you feel Celtic wanted.
No, I just think that, you know, maybe they knew what to expect from Barcelona, but Monaco are, you know, a different entity. And, you know, they've seen now, to be fair, what they're made of and what their main strengths are. So perhaps they'll be a bit more aware of it. But the key thing is you can know what the weapons are, but can you deal with them?
Absolutely. Barcelona couldn't, but can Celtic do it? We're now going to go and see the 2 teams who are in our grand final, Celtic and AS Monaco. Yep, so they are the 2 teams that have made their way to the grand final of the eFootball.Pro League. Celtic and AS Monaco, first versus third in our group league table this season. It's been an incredible season, Mark, and we are now down to the final, potentially 5 games, because it is a best of 5.
Yeah, worth pointing that out. So the first team to win 3 matches is the winner of the trophy, and no game can finish level, so it will be extra time and penalties. Could you imagine if the deciding game is decided on penalties? Would be remarkable.
I've got a hunch it might. So, I believe the players are just in the tunnel. So, Celtic versus AS Monaco, welcome to the stage and best of luck in our grand final of the eFootball.Pro League.
Welcome, guys. Give your hands.
Good luck, bro. Good luck. Good luck.
So some of the most decorated players on the eFootball.Pro League circuit, the PES League circuit in general, and 4 worthy competitors to be here in our grand final. And we've got a case where we've got world champions, we've got players who have been there at every stage of every single competition pretty much in the last 5 to almost a decade in the world of PES, and no greater stage to possibly go away with that wonderful looking trophy right there. If they're not careful, I'll run across there now and take it home myself. It would look absolutely superb on the mantelpiece, but of course I would not deserve it. These 4 players definitely do. And in terms of predictions, Mark, where are you going?
Well, I think that I would look at the fact that Monaco come into this off the back of that tremendous victory over Barcelona, and just wonder if the fact that they have been in action more recently and they've stumbled upon a winning formula is going to just give them the edge. But it's very tough to call. I mean, you look at the fact that Lotfi and Usmakabal are now second and third in the top scorer charts. Lotfi with 16, Usmakabal with 14. That's going to give them plenty of confidence as well. But I mentioned it earlier, experience. E.C. O'Neill and Indominator have won titles before. They are that bit older than Lotfi and Uzmakabal. Can that help them in the cauldron of the atmosphere of going for that trophy?
Yeah, all to play for. And of course, as you can see on your screen, you can vote for your finals MVP on Twitter at eFootball.Pro. All votes count double. On your screen, you have Eldridge on your left and Jos on your right, playing for the green and white hoops of Celtic FC, a huge name in the world of football. But on the right of your screen, we have Uzmakabal, back-to-back world champion in 2015-16 in the PES League, and Lotfi, who's been there or thereabouts across many of the last regional finals, world finals in PES as well. And they are playing for the famous red and white of the French AS Monaco contingent. And once again, we get a beautiful pan of that elusive trophy. And we said at the start of today, they are in touching distance of getting it. Well, what are we now? Pinky finger distance from getting it? Because it's right there. This is a straight shootout now.
Yeah, it is. And as I mentioned, nerves, do they play a part? We haven't seen signs of that as yet, but now we are in the final. Best of 5, remember this final. Are we going to see any signs of nerves, or are they both going to be able to stay true to what we've seen so far? Monaco against Celtic is our showdown.
Usually we see best of 5 happening in Wimbledon, for example, in the men's or women's final, and usually they go to a 5-setter. Are we going to see a potential 5-set best of 5 today?
I wouldn't rule it out. I really wouldn't rule it out, but I just get the feeling that if one of the sides can win the first 2 games, then they may well be able to do it without the need for any additional ones beyond the third. But we shall see. The great thing about this has been how unpredictable it has been throughout.
Ladies and gents, these are your 2 finalists here in the eFootball.Pro League. We have Celtic, we have AS Monaco, and we are expecting some real drama, as if we hadn't had enough already. Mark, final thought.
Well, just looking back at when the sides met on match day 4, Monaco lost 1-0 to Celtic overall. The first game was won 1-0 by Celtic. Eldridge O'Neill with the only goal of the game late on, and then the second game ended in a draw in Dominator with the opener, and then Lotfi scored late on for Monaco, but not enough to avoid defeat in the match overall. So not many goals scored in the encounters previously back in March. I get the feeling it's going to be a different kettle of fish this time around.
Of course, Celtic playing in the away strip this time. Are you a superstitious person, Mark?
Yeah, I am. So I'm not sure whether or not Celtic fans will be too pleased about that. Monaco in their traditional red and white, but it's Celtic with the first attack of the game, and they've caused some problems there. Jemison's going to have to just mop things up, and Masengo has it. When are we going to see that first through ball to try and catch out the Celtic back line?
There it is,
that one
on
is
cue.
Cut out by Benkovic, and Edouard can set Forest away. Best of 5, remember, so the first team to win 3 games wins the trophy, and Bayo almost with the first goal of the eFootball.Pro final. Forest now to Gamboa. Gamboa into Forest. Here's Bitton onto Johnston, and Johnston, Jemison charges it down. Bitton on the move. Forest again, and Pellegrini has it. Bitton closes him down. Golovin on the move, and Bitton's just managed to take it off him. Edouard through here for Bayo, and Bayo!
Oh, it's a chance.
For a minute you thought that was going to be the first goal of the final.
A huge chance for Celtic. You thought the net was going to bustle there as he cut inside onto his favourite right foot and fired it towards that far corner. And on another day, it would have gone into the back of the net. How important might that miss be? Of course, a chance for history to be made here, as the first winner of the first ever esports competition for professional football clubs in conjunction with the Pro Evolution Soccer Series from Konami, and that almost was the first goal of this incredible final.
Up it goes towards Hendry for Celtic. Just signs that it's been a bit more of a cagey affair compared to the semi-finals. Gamboa is offside, and that's going to be a free kick for Monaco.
What's interesting is both sides have set up like you would expect. Celtic with the majority of possession and doing all of the early pressing, and AS Monaco looking to hit Celtic on the counter-attack. Now, that worked brilliantly for AS Monaco against Barcelona. Can it work the same here against Celtic?
You can see there that Makabal is the second highest assist provider.
He's in.
Bayo, though, has it taken off his toes by Naldo. Celtic, worth remembering as well, kept the most clean sheets in the regulation league campaign. Clean sheets very tough to pull off, but then again Monaco kept Barcelona at bay and have their first shy at goal. Comfortable save though for Gordon.
Yeah, just stinging the gloves of the Celtic #1, and a little warning shot there, because it's been pretty much all Celtic so far. They've had the bulk of possession. That one huge chance which they didn't take, but AS Monaco, you feel, just growing into this first half of the first game of the grand final.
So, throw taken towards Thuram. Cagey stuff so far, midway through the first half. Both sides perhaps just getting to grips with the opposition and sizing up their strengths and weaknesses.
Is this the hardest game to be potentially the come second, and I mean, people talk about nobody remembers a second place. Do you think that'll be weighing on their minds? Do you think it's a lot more difficult to lose now than go out in the semi-finals, for example?
I think so. I think that's definitely something that's got to be at the back of their mind, but also they know that they can secure glory, and there's not going to be much between these sides, so it could just be one moment of magic as Golovin turns and plays in for Nikias. Masengo through, Pellegrini, not quite. Benkovic with the anticipation. Good defending from Celtic, as we've become accustomed to, really. And Naldo goes all the way back to his keeper.
Yeah, one thing to point out, we were making comparisons between Barcelona and Celtic, and Celtic defensively, I wouldn't say they've been better than Barcelona, but certainly today anyway, they've been very, very impressive. And that might be what they need to stifle this clinical AS Monaco front line. But on the other hand, that could all be absolute rubbish, because it's a goal in the blink of an eye. The commentators curse, they just didn't pick him up.
Well, I have to say, we've mentioned that through ball time and time again, and there it was once more from the free kick, but it's the same result. Celtic caught napping and Monaco make them pay. It's remarkable how everybody knows that that is what they do best, but people still can't find a way to stifle it.
That is some controlled volley finish. And please, Özmakabal, if you score your next goal, let's have a smile.
So, Gamboa for Celtic, up towards Griffiths. Now it's Forrest. And there's space here for Tierney. Johnson's up there as well. And worth remembering when you see those stats that both Eldred O'Neill and Jos Sonneveld have only played 3 matches in the league before the finals, because they came in as new players. Bayo for Griffiths, and Griffiths stings the palms of the goalkeeper. That's a good response from Celtic.
Yeah, almost an instant response on the scoreline as well, because it was a big chance up for Griffiths. Left foot shot goes across the face of the goal. It's going to go down as a smart stop, that. And just talking about goals, of course, we mentioned how Powell was top goal scorer so far with 18. That goal coming in from Özmakabal puts him to 15, and Lotfi with 16, so they are both encroaching on his title, and they have potentially 4 more plus games to go.
Pellegrini, and now it's Golovin on the move for Monaco, but running out of pitch as we edge towards half-time in the first game of this best-of-5 final between Monaco and Celtic. And it's a game that hasn't really got going properly as of yet, but perhaps...
Do you think that's down to the fact it's a best-of-5?
I think it's perhaps down to the fact that it's the final, and both
A lot of nerves.
are feeling the tension with the fact that the prize is now almost within their grasp. Here's Vinicius rising. Hendry beats him to it. Griffiths let it run, and a little bit scrappy there. Cleared up towards Golovin now, but he's not been able to make anything of it. And Edouard sends it on to Forrest. Glick in the way. Now it's Thuram making good ground. Hendry intercepts, and there is the half-time whistle. Your thoughts, Adam?
It's a tough one to break down, really. We've seen very little from either, really, in the attacking third. It's been pretty cagey defensively. Both teams have been pretty good, but we have that all-important goal from AS Monaco, and that is the most important stat that we've got at half-time, that AS Monaco lead. And we mentioned how dangerous they are when they do have a lead, and we also mentioned how important a second goal cushion could be, and they might have got it straight away from the off-start. And within just seconds of the second half beginning, Celtic, like Barcelona did in the semi-final before, have got a real tough ask now.
Well, it's not the classic ball through the centre over the top this time. Into feet, intricate play, almost quite Barcelona-esque really in the way they fashioned it. And the end result is that Monaco looks set to continue this fine roll that they're on. That's 8 unanswered goals now in their last game and a half, and time to scratch their heads.
Yeah, we talk about momentum, and as you said in the game previous, they are a train motoring into the station right now, and that station being the eFootball.Pro League trophy.
Well, Celtic can take solace in the fact that they still have plenty of time in this game and in the games as a whole, but they're going to have to start working out how to control this game. Just a correction on the scoreboard there for you, because it is 2-0, which has been rectified now. Here is Bitten sending it on towards Bayo. The flag is up there, and that goal means that now Lotfi and Uzmakabal are tied on 16 goals each, both just 2 behind the current top scorer, Pau, and you can't really see Pau holding on to that with at least a minimum of 3 games for these players to participate in.
No, the only way that would happen is if Celtic went on a scoring spree and were pretty resolute defensively, and the players alluded in the semi-final. Oh, there's another chance here, whacked away. The players, the Barcelona players, alluded after the semi-final that once the second goal goes in, it gives the whole squad a lift and makes the team even more dangerous. But nevertheless, Celtic on the front foot this time, and it's game on here in the eFootball.Pro League final first game.
Well, that is just what the doctor ordered for those two, and you have to give them credit for not letting their heads drop after Monaco got that second goal. It would have been quite understandable if they decided to write off this game and start thinking about match 2 of the series. Nothing like it, though, from those two. They have roared back into this. It's a good first-time finish, and that is what we got used to in their semi-final. Crisp, clinical finishing. It had deserted them a little bit of late, but they're back on it here.
They certainly are. It's they've not had a lot of chances in front of goal today in this final, and they've taken it straight away with Edouard, and it is well and truly game on here. AS Monaco 2, Celtic 1, and does that throw away the myth that if you go 2-0 down, it makes it almost impossible?
Well, I don't think that that's ever really been the case, because we've seen so many terrific comebacks across the entire tournament, but definitely they needed that goal pretty soon, or else Monaco could have done what they did quite well in one of the matches against Barcelona, which is just wind down the clock. But that goal has come early enough to ensure that Monaco won't be sitting too comfortably.
No, and you're always most dangerous when you've just conceded. So Celtic have got to keep their head switched on here. They don't want to throw away that goal, basically giving Monaco a 2-goal cushion again, as Edouard plays it out to the right-hand side, but it's a good interception and a chance for AS Monaco to fire forward. So, if Celtic, in my opinion, can keep themselves in this game at 2-1, going into the final 15 to 10 minutes or so, I think they could well and truly be in with a shout of turning this game on its head.
Absolutely. Gelson Martins, though, bringing it forwards. Pellegrini. And just run into traffic. Did win it back briefly. But loses out. And interesting to see E.C. O'Neill is on 11 goals, so joint 4th in the standings. And that's a pretty impressive return considering he hasn't played the full league campaign. Both he and Jos came in after 2 match days of the competition, so surging up that leaderboard. Gelson Martins and Pellegrini now for Monaco. That's a clever pass and very well anticipated, and it was Jos who read that well, and Jos has sent it wide to Eldridge. Back here for Jos, who's playing as bio for Celtic. Good ball in and good clearance as well. Monaco just starting to sit deep as they try to protect this lead, but that could be a dangerous game, and that's a dangerous ball towards Edouard. Cleared away as far as Thuram Oulian, and he just goes for a safety first knock straight out of play. Yeah, look a little bit rattled.
Yeah, they're very good defensively, Monaco, but it's very dangerous to play this defensively with 20 minutes or so to go, because especially when you're going up against a team like Celtic, who they really only need one chance, and you feel that they could get that all-important, crucial equalising goal. So certainly, if you're watching at home, do not take your eyes anywhere, because this game is still on a knife edge.
Well. Do we have more late drama? We saw Monaco peg back with virtually the last kick of the game by Barcelona, but they could extend their lead here and are surely going to take a 1-0 lead in the best-of-5 final.
We talked about how Celtic just needed to stay with them up until the remaining 10 to 15 minutes. Well, they did the hard bit, they got to that point, but they've thrown it away. It was sloppy marking just on the edge of the area, but again, it's another ball straight through the middle from AS Monaco, and it's whether it's on the deck or in the air, they are just impossible to defend against currently for the rest of the teams in the eFootball.Pro League.
It has been like kryptonite for all of their opponents, and it has done the job now, and it will take something reminiscent of Superman.
I was just going to say, a Superman-style performance
won't end in a victory for Monaco. Sinclair and Tierney both across there jostling for it. Celtic are going to make some changes, but surely too little too late for them now.
Celtic much wider in that front four. The very narrow, you can see why AS Monaco, all of their play comes through the middle, because they're so narrow, but they have the 4 players all in and around Diop. Currently, sometimes Jovetic drops in there into that number 10, but everything feeds off that number 10. And whether it's a ball over the top or on the deck, like we said, it is so hard to defend against when all of their players are so close to each other. All it takes is a little flick, and they're in on goal. And it's happened 3 times pretty much in this first game, but all is not lost for Celtic, because we still have, you feel this game might just be away from them, but we still have potentially 4 more games ahead. They certainly can't afford to lose the next game, though.
How do they combat, though, that ball through the centre, that through pass that has seen off Barcelona and is going to see them win against Celtic in game 1 of the finals? I mean, how do they combat that?
Do they match it? Do they go with a very narrow back 4, for example, and a holding midfield player that just anchors in front? Because at the moment, they've got a fairly wide right back and left back. If they bring them in, you know, it might create a bit more of a problem for AS Monaco. Equally, they could go to a 3 at the back, and again, the 3 centre-backs are a lot more narrow to combat that sort of narrow arc at the front for AS Monaco. They certainly haven't changed anything so far. It'll be interesting to see whether they do for the second game.
So the throw will be taken, and this is Monaco just boxing clever, keeping the ball down by the corner. Nothing fancy required for them here if they are going to earn a victory in game 1 of the best-of-5 final. Sinclair cut out by Naldo. Good performance this from Monaco. It's been a controlled and measured showing, and it's going to leave Celtic wondering about a few things going into game 2, which will come up straight off the back of this one. No sign of any fatigue from Monaco. The fact that they went through all 3 games of their semi-final against Barcelona, it doesn't seem to have had any ill effect as they win game 1 and get their noses in front in the final.
Yeah, still a long way to go, but that is an important victory for AS Monaco. And my only concern now, if you're a Celtic fan, is that the 2 lads, Eldridge and Jos, they are fantastic PES players, don't get me wrong, but they're also incredibly emotional guys. You see that whether they win, when they lose, and certainly they need to focus and keep a cool head, because if they get too emotional and get caught up in this, they could easily throw this next game away as well.
Well, there isn't long for them to gather their thoughts, is there? It's a very quick turnaround, and just wonder how much that can play a part in things as well, especially if emotions are running high.
Yeah, sometimes you need to douse yourself off and go again, and unfortunately we are straight back in. Equally, if you have a long time to think about it, those nerves, those emotions can really come to the fore as well. So it's hard to know at this stage, and hindsight's a wonderful thing. We could say if they had 5 minutes, 10 minutes to breather, it would be good for them or bad for them. We will never know. We are, having said that, straight back into game 2 of a potential 5. But of course, we know that if AS Monaco were to win this second game, it would mean we are possibly only 1 away. And straight away, Celtic have gone to a swarm the box for their attacking exploits. So expect Celtic to go straight for the jugular here, looking to get that early goal.
And in terms of the top scorers chart, Lotfi is now on 17 as Macabal on 16.
Closing in.
So he's 1 off the current top scorer, Pau. So you think it will be one of the Monaco players who will come away with the top scorer award, and are they going to make it a double and come away with the trophy for the winning team as well?
Or a triple with the MVP as well. Of course, you can vote online on our Twitter account at eFootball.Pro, and finals votes count for double. So certainly, oh, that's a late challenge. The referee's played a good advantage though as Pellegrini goes in. Chance to cross it into the next area. Oh, was that a save? Or did it just go through everyone?
I think it just went through everyone, but another early warning sign for Celtic that Monaco can be so incisive when it comes to their counter-attacks. It's an effective weapon. It's different to the more sort of possession-based game that you see from Barcelona, where they try to pass around you. It's quick, it's incisive, and there's a ball over the top again. This time Pellegrini can't get onto it. Johnston cut out by Masengo, and you just get that sense of anticipation. Everyone's waiting for when they're going to try and play that killer pass through the centre. Jankovic wise to that one. Golovin with a poor pass there, which allows Forrest to pick up possession. Griffiths now turning into traffic, so Gamboa can take up the running for Celtic. Edouard now on the move and poked into the path of Glick. Vinicius with a composed header, and Turan now into Masengo. There's the pass to Golovin, and Pellegrini making the run. Instead it's gone to Vinicius, and Vinicius' ball in. Good keeping. I think the flag was up anyway.
Yeah, some more solid play there from AS Monaco. They are certainly playing this final like it's just a practice match in the bedroom, because they don't show any nerves whatsoever. They are ice cool, and they're in again here. Saved by Gordon, scrambled away with his legs. It looked like an easier save would have been with his hands, but nevertheless the job got done. But again, warning signs for Celtic as Forrest has the chance to bring it away for the green and whites, of course, usually in the home strip, but this time in their away strip. And we talked about superstitions. Things are not going to plan so far, but we're still level in the second game.
Bayo, Griffiths nearly in midway through the first half, and it's not been a goal fest so far in either of the first game and half that we've seen.
Neither game have really lit up yet, have they?
No. Bayo, Griffiths, good turn. And may have been better advised to have tried to get a shot away earlier than that. Hendry, Edwards, and Monaco clear up towards halfway. Golovin now. This is the opportunity to play that through ball, and he's done so, but the keeper is there. Well, the pass was always on, but it was just overhit.
Yeah, smart goalkeeping from Gordon, but it looked like that might be the moment the deadlock would be broken, but the pass just overhit, and the pace of the attacker there, I can't quite see from here who it was, but he just looked a little bit laboured, whether he didn't quite read the pass early enough, but certainly that was a big chance, and now Celtic have the chance of their own. It's into the back of the net, but the offside flag is raised, and rightly so, and a few people in the eFootball.Pro League auditorium thought that was 1-0 Celtic.
Yeah, he looked offside from the word go, though, so no surprise to see that strike disallowed as they play it through for Pellegrini, who's in and scores. Well, we've seen it once again. That ball through the middle reaps dividends for Monaco, and they're ahead in game 2. And could they be heading for a 2-0 lead?
It has to go down as concentration. We just were talking up the other end how Celtic looked to possibly take the lead, but for the offside flag, and then again they just switch off and they just allow AS Monaco so much room in the heart of the defence, and the goalkeeper, a lot to be questioned really about that performance there, because he allowed the AS Monaco striker all sorts of room just to guide that in with a simple finish, and it is advantage AS Monaco, 1 game up, 1 goal up, and heading for the first ever eFootball.Pro League trophy. But we are nowhere near finished, because Griffiths has the ball here for Celtic, and it's game on. A wonderful response from the Super Hoops.
Lovely finish, and it is something that they have done now in back-to-back games, conceded and then gone up the other end and scored. Says a lot about their mettle and concentration. One thing I was going to mention is earlier that through ball that Gordon, the Celtic keeper, came out to deal with. I wonder if that's a tactic, the manual goalkeeper, bring him out quickly to try and nullify that through ball. But obviously it doesn't work as well for through balls that are played closer to goal, as was the one that led to the opener.
Yeah, of course, and they've got to decide between manual goalkeeping or just a simple, pressing that triangle or whatever to bring the keeper out as well, which can sometimes work and also sometimes doesn't, and that is the lottery, unfortunately, that they will play. But again, it looked almost there like Us Makabal had scored the goal. In fact, he had conceded. There was more of a smile that time. So the wry smile of the Frenchman as he felt that they should have done better defensively, but now they're back on the front foot through Golovin, and now Pellegrini, but he's given it away, and a chance to counter for Celtic through Edouard. Now Johnston cross to Griffiths here, and then Forrest completes the attack back in field to Griffiths, but again the pass is a poor one, and AS Monaco can counter through Pellegrini.
Really starting to open up now, the game, after a cagey start. Pellegrini, wonderful work. What about the cross? Too close to the keeper, who didn't deal with it in the most convincing fashion.
He made a bit of a meal of that as it gets cleared up towards Johnson, and again Celtic can't quite muster the counter-attack. They possibly... Oh, he skips away brilliantly there though and plays a lovely little 1-2, and now surely goes out to the left. No, intercepted.
And chance here for Bayo. Ronaldo mopping things up well. And Masengo now. Vinicius. This is where they can be dangerous, and Gilson Martins fluffs his lines there. Bayo has it for Celtic. On for Johnston. Approaching half-time. All square in this game, and here's Edouard. Oh, off the post. Forrest on the rebound, and he's not far away either.
So unlucky for Celtic. That was the moment, and usually they are absolutely clinical in front of goal, and I mean, sometimes it's those moments that really affect finals, and it might be the moment that AS Monaco look back on and think that's the moment that it turned for us, because that should have been 2-1 Celtic.
Should have been, but wasn't stuck away. Naldo can lead the charge out from the back, and it's 1-1 at the break. But Adam, do you feel that Celtic might believe they should or deserve to be in front at the break?
Yeah, certainly, especially we talked about that chance right at the end of the first half there. Edouard has scored quite a few goals today, and Eldridge especially has been in lightning form in front of goal, come back off the woodwork. Real strong connection on the left peg, but unfortunately fine margins can affect finals, and so far it's given Monaco the lifeline to keep this score at 1-1.
Well, a reminder there that you can vote for the finals MVP on Twitter right now. At eFootball.Pro is the address to make your claim for who you feel deserves that particular accolade. In terms of the top scorer, Lotfi on 17 and is Makabal also on 17. So the pair of them are now just a goal away from
encroaching on Pau's title.
Pellegrini has it now. Vinicius. It's not the best pass gathered by Gordon. Reminder that Monaco won the first match of this best-of-5 final. So we will go to extra time and penalties if this game remains all square at the end of 90 minutes. Gelson Martins on for Masengo. Pellegrini has started to make that trademark run through the centre. Masengo still for now, though. They're just waiting and waiting for the space to open up. Vinicius' header was intelligent, and Celtic had just about enough bodies back. Masengo with a sloppy pass this time. Vinicius and Masengo, and through for Pellegrini. Tame finish, really. Yeah, straight at the keeper.
Yeah, they're swarming the Celtic box there, but like you said, he really should have done better on the finish, and now Celtic can go up the other end possibly through Forest, but good defending to hold him up, and Celtic have to go again.
Johnston. And through for Edouard almost. Here's Golovin now leading the counter for Monaco. Vinicius waits for Golovin to arrive. Here he is now. Golovin and Vinicius. And across, nearly, Forest to Griffiths. Up here for Bayo. Edouard slipped across for Johnston's run. Jemison is there and can send it all the way back to the keeper. So 2/3 of game 2 gone, and they still can't be separated.
No, and remember, if you are just joining us, guys, well, number one, where have you been? but number two, it is a best-of-5 final here. The semi-finals were best-of-3s, and none of them went to 3. They were both settled in 2 games. Actually, that's a massive lie, because, of course, the second semi-final did go to 3. Apologies. But, of course, the final is a best-of-5. We have 1-0 to AS Monaco right now. And this is the second game where we are level at 1-1, and none of the games can finish as a draw. So even if this game finishes 1-1, for example, we will go straight to extra time and possibly penalties. Diop picks the ball up on the halfway line. Just half an hour for one of these two teams to grab a winner. Otherwise, extra time, as mentioned. Throw to be taken by Jovetic on that far touchline. Finds Diop, and now he goes back in field, and AS Monaco just starting to build the pressure again. This siege mentality, they're starting to grow. And Scott Sinclair back defensively does a really good job.
Griffiths now can turn into Diop, and here's Gelson Martins. Aholu and Gelson Martins and Jovetic now, almost for Pellegrini.
You feel Celtic have got to weather this 10-minute storm?
Absolutely. Naldo fired up towards Jovetic. Pellegrini now into the area. Just a bit off Mordnika Chu, and bitten and finds Sinclair. Griffiths back to Sinclair. They've worked that nicely. It's been such a tight game. You fancy a goal now. Could be the winner. Bayo goes for it, and Subasic with the save.
Yeah, when it left his boot, there was a heart-in-the-mouth moment. You thought that this might be one of those moments we look back on. A rip-roaring finish, but it just didn't quite have the legs to cause the goalkeeper the problems required. And again, up back come AS Monaco.
This could be such a crucial passage of play. The difference between it being 1-1 overall or 2-0 to Monaco in the best-of-5 final. That's defended well. Aholo back in, Pellegrini's there, Jovetic, not quite.
Yeah, we always say how fine margins can really affect these finals, and certainly, as you said, the next 10 minutes are all crucial here. As the goal kick to be taken by Gordon, just 15 minutes remaining. Do you think both sides are going to be happy with 1-1 and extra time, or do you think either side are going to try and get the winner here?
Looks like Celtic are perhaps a bit more urgent about trying to push on for a winner. Remember, we go to extra time and penalties if needed. Will we need them? Sinclair trying to avoid the need for them. It's deflected, and it's a corner.
Another huge chance for Celtic. Scott Sinclair dancing inside onto his favourite right foot. He opens up his body. It looks like the curler into the far corner is on. It will go down as a really solid block, but again, deflections like that can go anywhere. Fortunately for AS Monaco, it's gone behind for a corner, and Celtic come again.
Gamboa's delivery, Jovetic. Now, where's that through ball? There it was, but Tierney in exactly the right spot for Celtic. Gamboa.
They've managed to deal with that sort of threat a little bit better, haven't they, in the last half an hour or so?
Tierney to Bayo, flicked in towards Edouard. Griffiths was on his shoulder and would have been in. Pellegrini can't do anything with that. Benkovic to Tierney. Celtic just starting to build up a bit of pressure. Throw will be taken by Tierney. Edouard into the path of Burke. Glick had to get there and just about did. Burke does have it back now, though, for Celtic. And Edouard's pass into Bayo. Here comes Diop, though, for Monaco. And look at the space for Jovetic here. Can he slip him in? Pellegrini took a bit too long. Jovetic does have it now. It could have played the pass earlier and it would have been a much better opportunity. Diop's pass is sloppy and Bitton can send it up to Edouard on halfway. Extra time is now looming large on the horizon. Sinclair, Edouard, Griffiths to Burke. Will there be one last chance to settle it in normal time? Griffiths trying to create a chance, but the Monaco backline can clear, and Glick might be able to do a bit better than that. Jovetic further forwards, Diop inside, here he is now, and that's a foul.
Some would say games management, some would say cynical, but professional nevertheless, as the goalkeeper looked like he'd come up to take it for a second, but he's been beckoned back by the manager. Get back in your goal. With only 1 minute remaining, it would have been a huge risk for him to be outside of his own half, but it's whipped in again towards the centre for AS Monaco. Back into the danger. Pellegrini to win it. Saved by Gordon. Oh, what a challenge. And that is a moment that could change the fortunes of the eFootball.Pro League final.
Well, you talk about big moments. It doesn't get much bigger than that. That would have made it 2-0 Monaco in the best-of-5 series and left Celtic with no room for error. As it is, they are going to head into extra time with a chance of levelling it at 1 game all.
Definitely should have scored, as Gordon again makes a bit of a hash of the clearance. He's not had one of his better days at the office, but it has finished at the end of the 90 minutes. 1-1 between Celtic and AS Monaco. And Mark, a fair reflection?
I think that Celtic might feel that they shaded that second half and perhaps deserved to edge it. Neither team really did enough to run away with it. So,
and then of course Monaco had that late chance as well.
Yep. So extra time is arguably a fair reflection of how the game has gone over the course of normal time.
When I asked you your prediction at the start before the first game, you said, when I asked you whether you thought it was going to go to 5 games, you said, you know, if they can get to a 2-0 lead, you think it might be curtains. So
yep.
by nature of that, do you feel that if AS Monaco can get over the line in this final might be over?
Possibly. I do think it would be psychologically a really big hurdle for Celtic to overcome. Bayo has it for Celtic now. Edouard. And out wide for Burke. And Burke to Edouard. Henderson! Well, that's a terrific save. 2 really good saves, both down at that end in quick succession now.
It really was a super stop, because, again, when it comes onto his favourite right foot, you think, I mean, potentially might have been shading the post anyway, but you felt that he really had no right to make that save, but he has nevertheless, and it's a corner to be taken by Henderson on the near touchline here.
Bayo rising. Breaks here for Sinclair. Sinclair. Benkovic. Oh, and Edouard swung a boot at it. Jovetic now. This could be dangerous. Ahulu has Pellegrini. When's he going to play the pass? He took too long, but Pellegrini is onto it anyway and slips it through for Ahulu. The flag is up.
Wow. Controversial decision to bring it back for a free kick. It looks like it could have played an advantage, but he's brought it back, and, wow, drama continues here, Mark.
Yeah, they thought that if that advantage had been played, they would have had the goal. Instead, it's a free kick, which is no real consolation for them.
especially when there was, by the looks of things, no card awarded.
Well, those kind of decisions can be huge in the context of a tight game like this, and also worth remembering that Celtic are the only team in this final that have had a penalty shootout here today. They were faultless as well against Nantes, scored all of theirs, saved all of Nantes' penalties. Free kick to try and save him. In fact, there was a red card.
I take it back, he's given it, yeah. Straight red card.
Well, Monaco eventually made the most of that in extra time against Barcelona when they played against 10 men. Can they do so in extra time against Celtic today? They've got a free kick, which Jovetic is stood over at the moment. Gelson Martin's giving him the short option, and he's gone for goal, deflected it in! Well, they were unhappy about the award of the free kick, but they've scored from that free kick, and they're now ahead in extra time, and Celtic, the 10 men of Celtic, have it all to do.
A double whammy here, straight into extra time. As you said, they weren't happy with the award of the free kick, but the red card and the subsequent goal, so unlucky, deflection that goes past a helpless goalkeeper. But they will be very, very happy now, because now they are just a matter of minutes away from a 2-0 lead here in a best-of-5, as the challenge is now flying, and you'll see plenty more of this as we tick towards the end of this match, as Monaco try to tick the clock down.
Well, for Monaco, it's just game management now. They're ahead, they have an extra man. Do they push on for another goal that would absolutely kill it? Jovetic trying to feed Pellegrini. It's back to the goalkeeper, Gordon. Almost half-time in extra time. Diop. And Gelson Martins couldn't get the flick he was looking for. Tierney will send it clear. Sinclair up to Bayo. Naldo with excellent anticipation. Not a great pass, though. Tierney. Henderson tried to find Bayo. Naldo up to Jovetic. Diop lets it run, and Tierney picks it up. Might be the last chance of the first half of extra time, and Edouard nearly in round the back there. Jovetic and Diop. This is the dangerous position, the pocket, as Diop slips in Jovetic. Jovetic into the box here. 2 to aim for. Pellegrini. Oh.
Great challenge.
Took too long, didn't he, and allowed the challenge to come in. It is only 2-1 to Monaco at half-time in extra time, and Celtic still just about alive and kicking.
Yeah, superb challenge right at the death there at the end of the first half of extra time. You thought that at this moment in time that could have been the goal which sent AS Monaco to an almost unassailable 2-0 lead in the best-of-5, but we are still, with 15 minutes remaining, just the 1 goal difference. And the most important thing now from Celtic's point of view is they stay in this game as long as possible, because if they concede straight at the start of this second half of extra time, then it's completely pointless going through the following stages, as Jovetic has the chance to play it in. Pellegrini round the defender, he's hit the post, saved by the goalkeeper.
Well, they are hanging on by their fingertips here, Celtic. 2 massive let-offs here, off the post, and then saved by the keeper.
Solid stop that from Gordon, but you feel the ball should have already been in the back of the net. Could you say that was a poor finish from an AS Monaco point of view? Possibly, but nevertheless, they still have the goal advantage. They have the player advantage, and they really should, if they want to get their hands on the trophy, they should see this game out.
Well, they will live to regret that passage of play if they don't come out of this with a 2-0 lead in the best-of-5 series. They would be just 1 victory away from the remaining 3 games from securing the trophy. And having overcome Barcelona in the semi-finals, that would be a really impressive return.
Well, considering they finished 3rd in the season, to go and beat 2nd place in the semi-finals and to then go and beat 1st place in the final, as you said, not many people would have banked on that happening at the start of today.
Corner to be taken by Gelson Martins, and it was a tricky one to deal with. Thuram Ulian's across. Bayo will get there first. Henderson now for Celtic. Up towards Edouard. There's been a slight tactical change where they've brought him a bit deeper. Naldo should get to that first and sends it back to his keeper. Subasic upfield. Are they at the stage of the game already where they're happy to take it down to the corner? Diop does find Pellegrini down by the corner, and that has gone out for a throw, and that's exactly where AS Monaco want the ball.
Just minutes away now from 1 foot, 1 leg, 1 arm, half a body, most of the face with the trophy, aren't they?
Yep. Short throw, that's fooled everyone. They were looking for the long throw there. Diop now just keeping possession. Pellegrini, Gamboa's across there. Oh, they've given the ball away cheaply there. Got away with it though. Jovetic picks it up. Not long left to go in extra time, and now they do take it down to the corner just to try and run the clock down, but they've lost out. Gordon will be able to bash this upfield. Thuram Ulian can send it on to Diop though, and they are so close now to a 2-0 lead in the best-of-5 final. Diop, Jovetic makes the run. Diop retains possession. He's done excellently there, Diop. And again, we'll just take it down to the corner and try and keep the ball. And he's won a throw. Brilliant work, just what you want at this stage.
It's so difficult,
of the game.
So difficult for the 10 men of Celtic to get the ball back, because not only have they got to play less, but of course Monaco is so difficult when they have the ascendancy to sort of take the possession back. And with just seconds remaining, one thing to note, Pau's Golden Boot title is definitely at threat now, because he's now joint with Lotfi, who's on 18, and Usmakabal is on 17, so you would imagine one of these two players will be walking away with the Bachichi.
This is it for Celtic to try and rescue something. They can't. Monaco win the game and are now 2-0 up in the best-of-5 final. So one more victory and they are the champions.
Another professional performance from the French.
Very much so. They edged this one. They kept their cool. They were unhappy when the free kick was awarded, but as it turned out, they scored from the free kick, and the fact they were up against 10 men may well have aided them go through to that 2-1 success. So a 3-1 win and a 2-1 win means it's 2-0. They need just one more to be crowned champions.
So, Mark, what does Celtic do now? They've scored in both games. They've conceded in both games. So, do they need to go further? Do they need to go more in an all-out attack sort of mentality and outscore the opposition, or do they need to try and shut up shop and just win by the odd goal?
It's tricky, very tricky, and certainly as Makabal and Lotfi, as you saw there, are making a case to be MVP. Go to at eFootball.Pro to cast your vote as to who you think deserves it. But this could be the defining game for AS Monaco. Win this game and they are the eFootball.Pro champions. What can Celtic do? How does Celtic approach this? It's must win for them. Jemison back to Subasic. They can't go too big too early, because they know that Monaco have the weapons to hit them on the counter. Griffiths. Musongo loses out, and up it goes to Gelson Martins. I guess from a Monaco point of view, it's just a case of same again.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this, it's the third game now between these two sides, and it seems almost an identical setup from both of the two teams. We've got Celtic, who are on the front foot, looking to create, and AS Monaco happy to sit there, soak up the pressure and hit them on the counter-attack. It's worked very, very well for AS Monaco so far, and it looks like we may see another similar pattern, which could be a real problem for Celtic.
Pellegrini gets to the byline, but his cross is sent behind. In fact, I think that the penalty's been awarded. Well,
real controversy here inside the opening 10 minutes, and it's in off the post. What on earth happened there, Mark?
Well, Naldo smashed the penalty away. Didn't look like there was a great deal in the challenge, and they are in big trouble now.
Well. Just when you think you're safe to look away, the penalty's awarded. And it's advantage AS Monaco again, and it all stemmed from a counter-attack. I think we're going to see the challenge here, maybe. No, they didn't want to see it again. I mean, save that one.
Very good penalty, and I wonder what that does for the Golden Boot charts as well.
I will go to my trusty spreadsheet.
Because this could be the final game of the tournament.
Well, I'll tell you who's got that one. Who do you think's got that one? Lotfi was on 18. Pau was on 18.
Lotfi.
It was Usmakabayel. So we're 18 apiece.
Chance!
Oh, saved again from Golovin this time. 18 apiece between Pau, Lotfi and Usmakabayel. So
wow.
The next goal between these two players, if they were to get one, could mean they are the Golden Boot Pichichi winner.
Well, Monaco are really looking to just kill Celtic off here. In comes the corner, and Gordon, with a dramatic dive, gets hold of it. If Celtic fail to score, Monaco are the champions. That is the simple equation. Edouard back to Benkovic, who almost found himself caught in possession. What a dream start this is for Monaco. Surely there would have been some nerves knowing that they're so close to the title, but to get an early goal, especially from the penalty spot, couldn't have asked for much more, really.
It's the sort of moments that you kind of feel it, your sort of name's on the title, because we didn't think there was any danger, and then suddenly a little mistake defensively, conceded the penalty and find themselves 1-0 down. Celtic and AS Monaco, I mean, if they are to go on and win, you can't say it's not been deserved. They've dispatched to Barcelona. You know, that third game was an incredible performance, the 6-0. I'm just going to come back to that because I thought Celtic wouldn't go through. And then, of course, in this final, they've played the two games so far. We're into the third game, and they've been professional. They've been clinical. They've not really given Celtic a lot going the other way. You can't say it's not deserved so far.
Absolutely. But Celtic still alive. They need to keep believing. It is a big task ahead of them, but it's not impossible. Pellegrini, Gelson Martins, good vision. Vinicius, good turn from him. He's into the area, dangerous.
Great save.
Well, that's two crucial saves now. Monaco could have been out of sight and virtually with their hands on the trophy. As it is, it's only 1-0.
The Celtic players, Eldridge and Josh, need to take a hard look at themselves here and try and galvanise each other, because they potentially, if they were to turn this round, this would be one of the greatest displays from a team in PES we've ever seen, and to do it in the final of the eFootball.Pro League would be incredible. So that is the task ahead. Can they do it? Let's go and see. Bayo's in there, chance to bring it down. The offside flag is raised.
Just made his run a touch too early, perhaps. That's a bit of over-eagerness from Celtic. Desperate to get back into this and at least take it into another game rather than being whitewashed. Here is Griffiths. Glick got there first, but then left the ball behind. And Forrest to Edouard. Chance here. Edouard's hit! Well, should at least have got it on target, you feel.
It's another chance that comes and goes for Celtic. And they were the sort of chances they were gobbling up in the semi-final. They're going to have a huge half-time team talk if it stays like this in the opening 45 minutes, because they know they are potentially just over 45 minutes away from losing in the final, unless they can claw themselves back in. Another chance. This is much better, though, from Celtic. They're starting to cause inroads down that right-hand side especially, but they've got to be so careful of the counter-attack from Pellegrini, and it's wide of the target.
Well, at times they've been unplayable, have Monaco, and this was such a quick, incisive counter-attack.
Goal of the season contender, that would have been.
Certainly would have been up there if he'd been able to hit the target. See, they're yet to have a shot on target, Celtic. Gamboa lets it run. Here's Bitten. Forrest can't keep it in. It's going to be a big half-time team talk for the Celtic players.
It's difficult to see where they go from here, because they've already been trying to play on the front foot. As the chance comes in, the goalkeeper's come off his line.
Oh,
penalty,
surely a penalty.
And surely a red card as well to boot. Possible case of double jeopardy, which is what's happened.
This
He's giving
is
him
huge.
a reprieve.
Oh, he missed it! Well.
And the drama continues here, Mark, because that was the moment which would have seen them surely collect that trophy.
It would have been a long, long way back for Celtic had that penalty been put away. And
How
again,
important might that foul be now?
well, certainly seen red cards given for that kind of thing.
Obviously, that new rule about double jeopardy possibly being utilised there. If you give away a penalty, the red card might not necessarily be needed, even though he was really last man.
They're not letting that shake their confidence, though. Pellegrini is in, and
oh my word!
Well, how close can you get? They could easily be 4 or 5 up at half-time. Instead, it's just the one goal, and you just wonder if Celtic might get something out of this.
Are you getting a sneaky feeling here, Mark?
Well, it's been one of those games, hasn't it?
I mean, you've got to really look at this game for what it is. They find themselves 1-0 up going into half-time. They should be 3 or 4 up. No two ways about it. And in games like this, when you miss chances or the luck isn't quite on your side, you can very well be punished.
Oh, and that's really sloppy. Pellegrini and Vinicius. It's been coming. Can Golovin add? Here's Vinicius. There is the goal. And you cannot say it is any more than Monaco deserve. They have a hand and 3/4 on that trophy now. It's a long way back for Celtic.
A goal all in the making, defensively poor, because they threw that goal away. They had time to clear their lines. They had time to play out from the back or lump it forwards. They did neither. They dallied on the ball. They gave possession back. They were given 2 lifelines. The penalty miss, hitting the post, and they still gave them the goal, which has seen them now lead at half-time by 2-0, and it almost could have got worse there but for a good challenge here. And unless we see an incredible turnaround in this second half, there is only one winner that's going to be etched on the eFootball.Pro League trophy, and that is the words of AS Monaco.
Well, it's been terrific from Monaco. If you think that if they do go on and win this particular game to take the final 3-0, that would have meant a 4-game winning run, the most recent before this being the 6-0 drubbing of Barcelona. It's some hot streak to finish off on. Now they just need to keep their nerve, and surely one of those two will be your vote for the finals MVP. At eFootball.Pro is the Twitter address where you can get in touch to let us know who your vote is going for. And Lotfi is now out in front as the top scorer with 19 goals in the tournament, as Macabal, his partner, on 18. A private duel that is still to be decided, but for now their concentration certainly on the team effort. A 2-goal advantage to protect. If they manage to do that, they are the champions. It is a huge second half of football to come then. Can they see it out? It's Monaco who get us underway in the second half then. Will their game plan change with the title almost within their grasp? Here's Pellegrini, breaks for Golovin and Gelson Martins. Are they going to add and be able to just relax and enjoy this game? Not on that particular occasion. Henderson's touch to Johnston. Edouard sends it through. Griffiths offloads to Henderson. Gelson Martins with the boot in the way. Johnston and Edouard can turn and play the pass into Griffiths. Gelson Martins gets it away. Bitton is off after it. Johnston misplaces his pass, and Masengo can release Gelson Martins. Goes to Golovin instead. Golovin, and still waiting for some support. Golovin sends it on for Pellegrini. Back to Gordon, the goalkeeper. Thuram Ulian. Masengo still going. Breaks here for Edouard. Naldo slides in. That was a robust challenge. No foul given. And he's flicked it on here for Golovin, through for Gelson Martins. Not quite strong enough to hold off Hendry. Johnston now for Celtic. Up to Henderson. That's a good pass to Edouard. Nicely worked into Bayo as well. Griffiths on his bike in the centre. Henderson, angle against him. And he can't find a way through.
We've seen that a few times today. The shot coming in, firing across the face, and just missing that far post. And unfortunately, on days like today, your luck is just not there.
Seen so many balls across the face today, but they just haven't quite come off for Celtic. And now more changes are being made. And, well, they're not quite drinking in Last Chance Saloon, as more they've had the whiskey bottle flung at them and told, get out the door in a minute.
Yep, it's worrying times if you're a Celtic fan right now. They've got such a tall order to turn this game around and get 2 goals against a team who not only defensively have been superb today, but offensively, when they're under the pressure, they can flip the script and counter so ruthlessly.
Vinicius across, gathered by Gordon, with Lotfi now the top scorer on 19 and there's Macabal on 18. You do wonder if they get a late penalty, which of the players might be the one to actually take it. Would they settle for a joint golden boot? I'm sure they would, as it's been a team effort. That looked like a foul. Advantage played. Diop on the move here for Monaco. Lovely pass. Vinicius to surely settle it.
What a save. What a save from Gordon. And again, I'm trying to find words to suggest that this game is still alive, but all of the chances are coming at the wrong end for Celtic. It's another one that comes and goes for Monaco. It's another caution. Things are starting to boil over here from the Celtic boys' point of view, but they have just under 30 minutes to grab something, just to give themselves the belief, as another chance comes and goes for Monaco.
Well, they are performing admirably under the undoubted pressure of knowing that they're so close to winning the trophy now, Monaco. They've continued to play their attacking game. They haven't just tried to stifle Celtic and protect what they have. They've looked to push on. They've been entertaining. And if they are to do it in this game, they will have been deserving winners of the trophy for their performances. Just the one defeat today, and that came against Barcelona. No shame in that, given that Barcelona were second in the table at the end of the regulation campaign. As Adam was mentioning, it would have meant that Monaco have beaten the second-place team and the winners of the normal league campaign in Celtic to take the trophy, so they can't be accused of having done it the easy way.
But it just goes to show the magic of knockout football, because they finished third and they certainly weren't favourites today. Not to say they weren't a good team, because we know they have the talent to go on and win, but they finished third. The table doesn't lie, but in knockout football it can be so different as the ball gets fired across, and Naldo completes the clearance up to Diop, and Monaco come again.
Jovetic up against Benkovic. Still Jovetic for now. Pellegrini still going, and Hendry just shrugs him off it. Sinclair. Here's Burke. Burke to Henderson. Through for Edouard. It's just not happening for Celtic going forwards, and Monaco looks so dangerous when they're attacking. Pellegrini. Jovetic has come short. Here he is. Jovetic. Is this the moment? Round the keeper.
Oh, off the line.
Well, they're looking for that crowning moment. Jovetic. This might be it. Gelson Martins. Monaco are going to be the champions. They can celebrate now. They're going to do it. Magnificent from Monaco. They are 3-0 up, and they are going to be lifting the trophy tonight.
Time after time, wave after wave, and finally the third goal goes in. It's Monaco magic, and surely now they have both hands, both feet, their faces, their shirts all over that eFootball.Pro League trophy. A wonderful, wonderful performance from both of these two French gems. It's been a joy to watch.
Yeah, it really has, and just look how deflated the Celtic pair are.
Tough to take from a Celtic point of view, but you just can't say that they've been anywhere near good enough today in this final. They didn't take their semi-final form here, and I don't know how much of that is down to them letting themselves down or just not having the ability to play due to how well Monaco have been.
It's remarkable, really is remarkable, the consistency of their play. And they've not just ground out wins, they've done it with flair, they've done it with style, and they are going to be worthy champions. Sinclair, Celtic looking for what would surely only be a consolation. Griffiths, angle against him, it's out for a corner. But, well, if Celtic were to avoid defeat here, it would be one of the biggest stories in PES football history. They have a corner.
It's now or never, Mark.
12 minutes of PES time left to play. 3 goals needed. And they're not going to get one from that corner. And it comes again. And Bitten can't get there.
Hit it.
Burke does hit it. Oh! Well, he's a whisker away. Henderson, spirited response this from Celtic. Give them tremendous credit for that. They haven't let their heads drop, even though the game looks like it's up. And it could get worse for them here. Jovetic, Ahulu, Gelson Martins. That's a thundering challenge from Benkovic. Diop, Ahulu, and through for Diop. Chested down, Gelson Martins is in there, scrambled clear by Celtic. But it's not going to change the outcome. It is not going to change whose name is on the trophy. Burke, Adiashil and Edouard, they'd like the clean sheet. They might keep one as well. Bayo, it's a corner.
Just seconds away now from putting that stamp of approval on what has been a terrific performance today in these finals.
Griffiths with the corner. Benkovic trying to clear. Jovetic is up there. Sinclair, and still Sinclair. It's a free kick. Might be a chance for a consolation goal here. It's going to be struck by Griffiths, and it's struck straight into the wall. Pellegrini is off after it. How much additional time is there? The celebrations are being readied. Monaco about to be crowned champions. It's back to Subasic. Upfield it goes. Jovetic is there. Chased down by Stefan Jovetic. They'll keep it down in the corner. The celebrations about to begin. Pellegrini can add to them. Diop's in there. No foul. Burke has it. Marvellous Monaco are the 2019 eFootball.Pro League champions, and they have done it in style.
A sensational performance from the French team. They've come from behind many, many times, and this time they've led from the front all the way through the final. They dispatched of Barcelona, winning 6-0 in the final game. They dispatched of Celtic, winning 3-0 in the final game there. They are deserved winners here in the first ever season of the eFootball.Pro League. What a performance, and more importantly, we have some accolades to come, including, of course, the MVPs, the Golden Boot winners, the assist makers, which Diego will be telling you all about soon. And look what it means to those two players who have been incredible today. Wonderful, wonderful to watch. It's been a pleasure to be a part of it. And Diego is on the stage now, and you'll hear from him right now.
Lord B was back about, obviously, euphoric at this moment. How are you guys feeling?
We are happy, very, very, very happy. It was all we work much for this event. All this season we work for this, so our work paid today, so we are very happy.
Of course, you guys are very happy. Historic right here. The first time winners of the eFootball.Pro League, AS Monaco. It wasn't always easy going for you guys. What was the most crucial part of the season? I remember you guys were obviously classified for the semifinals in third. What was the most crucial part of the season for you?
Maybe of the season?
Yeah.
For today, I think it was the second game after Barcelona. Maybe in the season, our defeat against Celtic. We was know that we have the level. I think we was better, but our mentality was maybe bad. We was no. Sorry.
A lot of emotions. A lot of emotions.
We change our mentality, more fun, we take more pleasure in seeing this game. So we are happy. Yeah.
Of course, very happy right now. Although at the start of the tournament, you guys were one of the favorites. Did you guys view yourself as one of the heavy favorites to win this competition?
Yeah, sure. For us, we was in terms of level, we was the best. So if we had good mentality today, we were sure to win, you know.
Sure to go. Well, very confident bunch. As at this point, I would like to welcome to the stage as well the eFootball.Pro Executive Director Helios Chaudaron. Please join me on the stage, as well as the competition runner-ups in Celtic, of course, boys. If you could please join me while Helios will award you guys the medals. Please, guys from Monaco as well, stay over here. If you guys can stand over there, and I can, in the meantime, talk to the guys from Celtic. Helios, if you want to start with the winners, I can take a little bit of a time here to talk to Jos and EC O'Neill, the runner-up of the competition. Let's hear it for the boys from Celtic as well, please. Give them a hand, because they were definitely worthy adversaries, but it wasn't meant to be today, at least.
Unfortunately, yeah, we started pretty confident, but suddenly they came up front. So yeah, everything went. I don't know. It's not. We couldn't play our game. We have to give credits to AS Monaco for defending very well. Especially they took a profit of the previous match day, analyzed as well, and yeah, like I said before, they defended very well. And I have to give credits to them. So the deserved champion for today.
Jos here, very sportive. EC O'Neill, how are you feeling at this moment in time? I know obviously that this is not expected, not what you guys wanted, but how are you feeling?
I don't know. Of course, yeah, it's the way they played. They were strong in defense, and actually they neutralized us. You know, they actually played like how we played against them and the previous match day. You know, just wait in the back and yeah, you utilize the counters. Their long balls were very strong as well. So they were just very strong in the counter attack, and our tiki-taka football was not strong enough to get through their defense. So unfortunately, very sad, but next season we'll be back stronger.
That's it. Next season, más y mejor, as they say here, more and better. I know you guys are very feeling down at the moment. Obviously, you wanted to take that trophy home, the colors of which we're going to compliment you guys so nicely, but it wasn't meant to be. I want to congratulate you both, though, on an excellent effort. We're going to, of course, hear more from the winners later in the analysis program. At this moment, though, I would like to welcome to the stage as well Jordi Oteu, the competition director, who's going to hand out the awards, as well as, of course, Helios. Please give these guys their much-deserved medal as well. A round of applause for these worthy champions, as well as the runner-ups of the eFootball.Pro competition. An historic moment right here, as this moment of time, or this year, the AS Monaco are the deserved winners with a thumping 3 wins out of the 5 games possible. They are the ones that will be taking the trophy home, and I believe a few of the awards as well, as we are shortly joined on the stage by Jordi Oteu, who's going to hand out the competition awards, starting with the assist winner. Jordi, please join me here, as the assist winner is as well Uzmakabal. Uzmakabal taking the top assist trophy. The most assists of the season, not only winning the championship, but the most assists by Uzmakabal. And, well, the Pichichi, who else could it be other than Lotfi? Lotfi, the most goals scored in the competition. Jordi, please give the most goals scored, the Pichichi. The champion team taking 2 of the big trophies. And finally, the competition MVP is EC O'Neill, guys. You guys voted for him on Twitter. E.C. O'Neill, the winner of the MVP trophy of this competition. E.C. O'Neill, I want to ask you, how does this feel, winning the MVP trophy? Does that compensate the effort a little bit? How do you feel winning this trophy, awarded by the fans, of course, voted for you on Twitter?
To be honest, not at all. I would trade this trophy anytime for the big trophy. So I'm still sad, even though I have this. But the most important trophy we don't have, and that's the most important trophy for me. So MVP, I would trade it for the big trophy.
Of course, but hopefully that's something that you'll be able to build on next season, guys. Ousmane and Lotfi winning the goals and assists. I think that kind of speaks for itself. Just a perfect match, a perfect combination between Ousmane and you feeding him the goals and you finishing off those assists.
Yeah, I think it's like you said. He has very, very nice for the pass, and I finish. So we are happy. So
Not always.
only happy.
Not always. Many missed goal.
Ousmane always critical with his teammate.
He's jealous. He's jealous.
Well, guys, again, congratulations, of course, on the big trophy, being the champions of the eFootball.Pro League, as well as winning the trophies of Pichichi, the most goals and most assists scored, and the runner-ups on the MVP, and of course, reaching the final, which in itself is a huge, huge achievement. And you had a lot of eyes set on you when you guys took over from the Celtic team at the hands of El Torito and Luca, and I think you guys did them proud, rather. So congratulations again to both of these teams, as I think surely but slowly we're going to head over to the analysis table. So guys, one more round of applause to both of these teams, please. Well, as you can see from the faces here, smiling faces on the players of AS Monaco. And not so smiley, of course, on the guys from Celtic. But please join us now. The winners are going to ask you to join me to the stage here as we'll be joining us at the analysis program. Yes, Lotfi, it's not over for you guys just yet. And stay tuned as well, because of course the key word that will allow you to win the PES 19 game is going to be unveiled at any moment, as the trophy will be set right there. Adam, please.
It's been a pleasure to watch that, guys. Tremendous performance in the final there. We're going to sort of go over the semi-final and the final and your sort of route to here with the help of Diego and some graphics. But Mark, would you like to say anything to these two who have been incredible today, haven't they?
Yeah, fantastic performance. I have to ask you, what do you think the key was to seeing off, first of all, Barcelona in such comprehensive fashion, and also managing to beat Celtic in 3 games out of 3? What was the key thing?
I think the key just to with the game of Barcelona, we adapt of the game, because in competition it's always more slow. So when I think in the 3rd game we was at our best level. So after it's just the next of this game,
Yeah, so you managed to adapt to who you were playing against. It wasn't a specific tactic. It was kind of, depending on who you were playing against, you changed your game a little bit.
Yeah, I think the most change it was in defense, because they are not the same team style,
Yeah.
Barcelona play more in the middle,
yeah.
I think, and Celtic more in the wide.
Yeah.
So it's the big difference. And, it was a big difference.
You did a great job, and it really felt like a team performance as well, because we touched on assist winner and golden boot winner or Pichichi winner, but you were close in both as well. Like, you finished 2 goals off and you finished 1 or 2 assists off as well. So it was a real team performance, wasn't it?
Yeah, and one of the key things was, we noticed it in the commentary, you kept on catching teams out with that through ball. You scored so many goals with that ball through the middle. How do you manage to keep doing that and scoring goals when all the other teams must know that that is your big weapon?
I think it's you know, we work this in our training, like he say, it's la Usma ball.
Usma ball.
And we work for this because it's not easy. Like you say, we are only our team can do this. I think so. It's work, training, and with this.
Well, it's paid off, and Usma Ball might be the new trending thing on Twitter. Diego, should we talk through the actual semi-final, the first game between Celtic and FC Nantes, just to break it down a little bit for the guys at home?
Yeah, well, the guys started off that semi-final ever so well, thumping FC Nantes with an emphatic 4-1 victory. That second match, though, was, of course, a lot tighter, going all the way down to the wire. 3-3 it ended, and finally had to be decided, not only in extra time, but penalties eventually, where Celtic did outclass their opponents. 3 fantastic stops there by E.C. O'Neill. And I'm curious, for you guys, what did you make of the semi-final between Celtic and Nantes? How did you guys, as competitors, obviously, how were you watching it?
We watch that Celtic is very dangerous when the team against press with 2 players, for example. So we see this, and when we play them, we try to press only with 1 player, and the fact of they play in the wide, and they are the most dangerous when they play in the wide. So we see this.
Did you have a preference between these two facing either Celtic or Nantes in the final?
We prefer, not prefer, but Nantes is our friends. So if they win, we are happy for them. But no preference of style, of level, you know.
Were you, when you were watching this first semi-final, were you thinking about potentially playing these 2 teams, or were you solely focused on Barcelona?
We see because they play before them.
Yeah.
So we need to see if we win, but not focus on our game.
Yeah.
But see they play in. Sorry.
No, it's fine. So you were watching them, and you were seeing how they played,
Yeah,
and how you could adapt your team to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We see how they play, but not in details. You know, we don't make a plan before our semi-final. We focus on our semi-final, just see how they play for after, and after our semi-final, we think of our game and to choose how adapt our style.
Yeah, and me and Mark mentioned in commentary that you play very narrow. You have your traditional 4-3-3, but you're very narrow. And is that something that you've always played like, or have you ever played a sort of wider game?
No, we play all the season with this formation.
Yeah.
In eFootball.Pro, in PES League, in 1v1, in 2v2, in 3v3.
And it's working.
Yeah, exactly. When we lose, some teams, for example, they will change formation or other, but us just think the most important is to know perfectly your formation. If you know perfectly your formation, you will be with the time in the long term.
Yep.
In the long term, you will be the best, I think.
Yeah. Just one thing for any of the guys watching at home, if there was one bit of advice you could give players who want to be better at PES in a co-op, is there anything that you can? How for people at home who might be playing in co-op, is there one thing that can improve their game?
For us?
For them at home, if they wanted to improve going forwards, if you could give some advice as winners.
For other players?
Yeah.
I don't know. They are all very good players.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to do some advices. Just
watch you guys play, I guess, huh?
Just
learn from the pros.
Watch and practice.
Learn from the pros.
Not necessary, because if you play like them, you will not do like them, because it depends of the style.
So you've got to have your own style.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So some players prefer possession, other counter, and it's all very good players. So I don't have. They know the most important is to work and to train. So I can tell more of this.
Yeah. Okay. Diego, the second game, of course, was the second semi-final, Barcelona versus AS Monaco, and it was on a knife edge for a long period until that final game, which was just ridiculous to watch, wasn't it?
It was. Well, it was a very much a one-sided affair, at least in that last match, as you mentioned there, Adam. A lot of guys behind the scenes were calling this the anticipated final between two juggernauts, two of the tournament heavyweights. We saw here that game one went in the favor of Monaco, winning that initial match 4-2. Second match, though, different, completely different match. Barca winning that one 3-0, very convincing win. And then finally, as mentioned before, a 6-0 drubbing at the hands of, by AS Monaco at the hands of Barca. I guess my question here is, guys, did you guys expect more competition from these Barca boys, this duo who are well, both very skilled players in the world of PES, but that final match was very much a one-sided affair. Did you expect more, maybe more competition?
No, I think they played very well in the games. In the game 3, maybe when we lead 3-0, it's difficult.
You got those two early goals, obviously, that in the initial 10 minutes.
Goals, and maybe now we defend very good, sorry. So maybe they try to play more offensive, but when team play offensive against us, we will score. So
ball.
I think they not play bad. They try after 2-0. They try one thing, it not work, but they was in the 3 game, they was very good.
Did you get nervous at any moment in time after that second match when it was not a one-sided affair, but for your opponents in this case? Were there any doubts that crept in?
No, we was not nervous in the game because we missed some occasion and we played bad, to be honest. But we was confident because after it was 1-1, so we can win. And when we can win, it's important to not panic, you know.
Yeah, it was a wonderful performance. And Mark, we were commentating obviously on it, and it was incredibly one-sided in that final game, but it wasn't for large periods in the first 2. I know you had a question.
Yeah, I was going to ask, I mean, obviously, you know, tremendous ability in terms of playing the game, but also how strong did you have to be mentally in that first game when obviously Barcelona scored with the very, very, very last minute, and then you had extra time? How difficult was it for you to mentally get ready for extra time?
I think it was not so hard. It was in the moment we was for sure not happy of this, but we was know if we played extra time like prolongations, you say prolongations like in the game we can win. And if so, no, we not panic, you know.
But you were angry at the time when the free kick was given and they didn't play the advantage, but actually you scored and it was a red card, so it was okay.
Finally, yes.
And they suffered some bad luck as well with hitting the post and the penalty miss as well. Now we jump on to, of course, talking about that, and that is the final, Celtic versus AS Monaco. And we were expecting a best of 5, potentially going all the way. They didn't need it, did they?
Best of 5, no, a sweep, as they call it in basketball. I don't know if in esports they also call it that, but a clean sheet here. 3 victories, convincing victories at that for Monaco. The first match going 3-1 in the favor of the French duo, 2-1 in the second leg, and finally the 3-0, once again, an emphatic victory to take the trophy home to France, guys. Also here, my question, I guess, is did you expect more of a resistance coming from your opponents for the final?
To be honest, we don't think to win 3-0 because it's strong opponent for sure, and in PES it's very difficult to do 3 wins in a row. But I think, yeah, we was lucky in the second game. So with this luck, I think we win this game. And after, when you have 2-0, it's more easy to play. You can be confident. You can, we had a good mental at this moment. So it was more easy after this second game.
Just one question I've got. You both play 1v1s and you both play co-op. How different or how difficult is it to change tactics, for example, from 1v1s to playing together? Because you do both so well, both of you.
Yeah, it's what the difference against the difference is you need to be, for example, when one player pressed, the other need to anticipate, but you can't speak during all the game. Oh, I will make this. Oh, I will do this. So you need to play it before much games, many games to know
how your other player's going to react to certain situations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, for example, if I go there, this player will do this. So it's important to know perfectly more than 1v1 maybe, because in 2v2, if you make an error, it's more dangerous of 1v1. So it's so important to not do error, and in 2v2 it's difficult, but it's a difference for me.
Yeah, and obviously you're both brilliant together. Do you prefer co-op, do you think, or do you prefer playing 1v1s, or do you find it the same?
For me, the same. It's different. It's just different. We like twice, but it's different, not a preference.
Yeah. Mark, have you got any final words from the final that you watched?
I think that, just to go on a 4-match winning run, which you did because you beat Barcelona and then you beat Celtic in 3 straight games. Do you think that shows how much you need consistency? Every game you have to be at a high level, and how difficult is it to stay at that high level?
Yeah, it's very difficult. That's a good question, because when you play best of 5, you need to be to be focused during very long time, maybe 40 minutes or 50 minutes, and it's very difficult. And it's important too, because sometimes because we do 6 games today, sometimes one player, will do many mistakes.
Yeah.
So it's important who the other player at this moment be better, but to equilibrate this,
Yeah.
Because it's sure in 6 games, sometimes one player, sometimes the other will be less good than the other. So it's important to do this, to equilibrate. Sorry.
Yeah. Diego, any last words before we wrap things up?
Well, I mean, look at these guys. They're going to go home with some extra luggage. We have the Pichichi here, the top goal scorer, as well as the most assists of the competition, and taking home that beautiful trophy. I think that in itself just speaks for itself, really. So once again, just congratulations to these guys.
Yeah, a wonderful performance from AS Monaco, Lotfian and Uzmabal they played, of course. Now, remember, guys, we talked about the chance to win 5 copies of PES 2019. And those key words are, I can give you to them now, it is High Video Studios. So you need to go to Twitter at eFootball.Pro, find the tweet that relates to that competition. It will be pinned, I believe. I hope so. And you can go through and comment those keywords, High Video Studios, and you will be in with a chance of winning a copy of PES 2019. We are at the end of a truly spectacular eFootball.Pro season, the first ever season for professional football clubs in conjunction with the Pro Evolution Soccer Series. We have wonderful winners, AS Monaco, but let's not forget Celtic, who finished second. Commiserations to them, of course, and the other 4 teams, good maths, the other 4 teams, Boavista, Schalke 04, we have FC Nantes and Boavista as well, and and Barcelona, of course. How could I forget? An amazing competition. Wonderful for you guys to watch it with us. Again, congratulations to AS Monaco. Thanks to EMR Right. Thanks to eFootball.Pro as well. Thanks to Konami, of course, and thanks to everyone else here. And if I forgot any of you guys, my apologies. Thanks to the clubs and the players. We'll love you and leave you. See you very, very soon. Join us for next season, where it's going to be even better. See you soon.